River Stadium in icy Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the Steelers play host to the Seattle Seahawks. Pittsburgh has a perfect day for its kind of football. 23-degree temperatures, wind chill factor 9 degrees, as the Steelers will try to nail down the AFC Central Championship today, something they can accomplish with a win, combined with a Houston loss to Chicago on Monday night, and a tie or a Cleveland loss in the Cleveland-Cincinnati game. The Steelers, maybe the surprise team in the National Football League this year. I'm Jim Lampley, along with Ahmad Rashad, as we look at Steeler coach Bill Cowher, who has put himself in line for Coach of the Year honors, Ahmad, for the job he's done here.
Without question, Jim, Cowher power is alive and well right here in Pittsburgh. He took a team that was 7-9 last year. They're 9-3 now, and one of the top teams in the AFC.
Gary Anderson of the Steelers kicks the football away. It is Chris Warren, the heart of the Seahawk running game, who also returns kickoffs and punts and brings the football out to the 32-yard line. 23-yard return of the kickoff, and here comes Stan Gelbaugh, who has earned the starting nod at quarterback for the Seahawks today off his performance in bringing them from behind to beat the Denver Broncos this past Monday night. So it's Gelbaugh, Warren, who carries most of the load in the running game, veteran John L. Williams, Blades, Kane, and Heller. The Seahawks are healthier at wide receiver and tight end than at any time all year. Offensive line has struggled, particularly rookie Ray Roberts at left tackle. On first down, it is John L. Williams with the football, and the veteran fullback out of Florida is met by Carnell Lake. After a pickup of 3 yards, it'll be second down 7. Greg Lloyd also in on the tackle. As you look at the Pittsburgh front 7, Gerald Williams at nose tackle, Gerald Williams at outside linebacker. Both of those players make some big plays. Greg Lloyd is the leading sacker on the team. David Little had 3 sacks against Cincinnati last week. Good secondary, Woodson, Johnson, Lake, and Darren Perry, who leads all rookies in the NFL with 6 interceptions from the free safety slot. On second down, Steelers have Lake on a blitz, and Gelbaugh falls down as Carnell Lake arrives, bringing the safety blitz for a loss and to set up third and extra long for the Seattle offense.
You can see the field is not wet, but it is a little flattened down, a little bit slippery as you watch Gelbaugh here with the hand fake, goes back and then just loses his footing, and Carnell Lake is right there for the sack. And talking to the Steelers yesterday, they didn't know if they were going to try and blitz Gelbaugh a lot because they felt like he was an experienced quarterback that maybe they didn't really need the blitz.
Lake had a sack last week in the Steelers' 10-sack outburst against David Klingler of Cincinnati. The 9-yard loss made it third down 16. Gelbaugh, with adequate protection, looks down the middle, and the football is dropped by number 86, Doug Thomas. Carnell Lake there on the coverage, but with the drop, the Seahawks missed a chance to pick up first down yardage.
That is the kind of thing that has plagued this offense the entire year. That's the ball you got to catch to try to keep those chains moving. All of a sudden, a perfect execution by everybody except for Doug Thomas not being able to hold on to the ball. Nice poise there by Gelbaugh, staying in the pocket and delivering it.
Here is the most prolific punter in the National Football League, Rick Tootin, already with 84 punts on the year. He's having a very good year. This one badly off the side of the foot. It will be short. Rod Woodson stays back and takes only a look at it as Seahawk players down it. Tight end Ron Heller, putting his hands on the football at the 40-yard line. It winds up being a 33-yard kick for Tootin, who was lucky to get that much out of it. And here comes Neil O'Donnell to lead the Steeler offense. O'Donnell is a ball control quarterback who has had a careful, safe year. 12 touchdown passes, only 6 interceptions in an offense that is geared to not giving up the football in bad field position.
He fits in perfectly with this offense because, as you said, Jim, he doesn't throw interceptions.
Barry Foster has been the premier running back in the NFL to this point in the season. Adrian Cooper taking over for Eric Green, out on suspension at tight end. O'Donnell on first down throws complete to Merrill Hodge, and the fullback is out of bounds after a pickup of about 4 yards. It will be second down 6 for the Pittsburgh Steelers at their own 44. We take a look at the Steelers' offensive front, a veteran group who have played well together this year. The big pickup was Duval Love in Plan B from the Rams. He has been nothing short of brilliant at the left guard spot. Justin Strelzik stepping into the starting lineup today in place of Tunch Ilkin, who is out with a pulled groin muscle.
Duval Love will have his hands full today with Cortez Kennedy, who I think is the best nose tackle in the business.
On second down 6, it is Barry Foster. And Foster's first carry of the day nets him 4. It will be third down 2. Seattle's defensive front. And you mentioned, Ahmad, Cortez Kennedy. I agree, the best defensive tackle in the National Football League this year. Rod Stevens makes a lot of tackles from the middle linebacker position, where he's replaced leading tackler Dave Wyman out on injured reserve. Rufus Porter, a big play player at outside linebacker on the weak side. Harper, Hunter, Blackman, and Robinson, an underrated secondary. Blackman and Robinson as capable a pair of safeties as you'll find anywhere in the American Football Conference. Graham and Stone are both wide to the top of the screen. 4 wide receivers on the field for Pittsburgh on third down 2. Out of the shotgun, O'Donnell looks and throws into the hands of number 41, Eugene Robinson, who picks it off for a Seahawk interception. Jeff Graham, the intended receiver. Bad read, bad throw by O'Donnell.
That's what happens when you have a third and short and you're just trying to get the first down. And it was a great play by Eugene Robinson, who reads this all the way and makes the break on the ball before the receiver can. It's a great play there by Eugene Robinson, reading the eyes of the quarterback, knowing that they only had to go 2 or 3 yards for the first down, and comes up with that interception.
We mentioned the underrated pair of safeties. Robinson and Blackman have made big play after big play for a Seahawk defense that hangs in against the pressure created by its inept offense. And there is another look at Seahawk ineptitude on offense as Gelbaugh and Warren have trouble making connections. It'll be a loss of 2. Greg Lloyd was there to cover Warren. Second down, 12 yards to go.
Well, when it goes bad everywhere. You just see a miscommunication there between the snap of the center and the quarterback. Just not able to get that snap, and all of a sudden Seattle's in a negative position.
Make it a loss of only 1. Second down, 11. Tommy Kane in motion to the bottom of the screen. Gelbaugh with protection goes downfield, and John L. Williams trying to come back to the football and make a falling catch as it dropped out of his hands. Gerald Williams was there to cover John L. Williams coming out of the backfield down the sideline.
Watch Gelbaugh. Well, he stands in this pocket with a lot of confidence. Here he just settles down. He knows he has John L. Williams down the right side, and he puts it up for the point where John can try to make a play on the ball, and it just hits the shoulder pad, and he's not able to bring it in. John L. Williams, one of the best receiving running backs in the National Football League.
There is the long-suffering Tom Flores, who's living through this 2-10 season so far, largely on the basis of his own experience. Gelbaugh releases as the blitz was coming, and he misses Tommy Kane. Rod Woodson on the coverage for the Steelers. So the Seahawks fail to convert third and 11, and Booten Tootin will come on to kick it away again.
You know, the Seattle offense, with having so many injuries, they just get Tommy Kane back, and all of a sudden you have a new quarterback in Gelbaugh. He's not had a chance to really work with this receiving core over a long period of time, so sometimes you get on the wrong page. They just have had just a horrible season in terms of injuries.
Tootin will kick from his 30-yard line. Rod Woodson stands at the Steeler 10, and this one is high and deep. Woodson calls for the fair catch and makes it at the 8-yard line. So the Steelers, after the 47-yard Rick Tootin punt, will begin with the football deep in their own territory. 0-0, first quarter when we come back.
If you think these guys are tough on each other, you should see how we tested the Oldsmobile Achieva. Because we recently pitted it against the Honda Accord and Toyota Camry. And after 100,000 miles, in an independent test, in the real world, guess who won? It's your choice.
Gravity. It's more than a fragrance. It's a force of nature. Gravity. For men. You couldn't resist it, even if you tried.
Rust. What it can do to the outside of your car, weak, neglected antifreeze can do to the inside. You need Presto. No matter what happens to the outside, Prestone protects the inside. Prestone stops the rust that stops your car.
Here's the season to be jolly.
Tis also the season for a KFC holiday meal. A bucket of delicious chicken, mashed potatoes with gravy, coleslaw, hot biscuits. Enough to feed four, just $9.99. And when you buy a holiday meal, get a coupon book worth up to $75 on select Mattel toys at Toys R Us and other fine stores. The $9.99 holiday meal from KFC. And from Lake Edna, happy holidays!
Back at Three Rivers in Pittsburgh, where the Steelers will be thinking safety on offense, starting from their 8-yard line, and no team is better equipped this year, as Barry Foster, with 1,319 yards on the ground, leads Emmitt Smith of the Dallas Cowboys by 72 yards as the NFL leader in rushing, and as you can see from the graphic, has rushed for more yardage than 14 different National Football League teams, among them today's opposition, the Seattle Seahawks. First down from the 8. Foster takes the football, finds a hole over the right side, and has a gain of about 6 out to the 14-yard line. Rod Stevens made the stop from his middle linebacker post for the Seahawks.
A lot of that credit for Barry's rushing yardage has to go to offensive coordinator Ron Earhart, who has put in a perfect system for a back like Barry Foster, who has great body lean, just always driving forward. But also, he's got the blocking scheme for this offensive line is one where they get a chance to attack. And if you talk to any offensive lineman, they'd much rather attack their opponent as opposed to set up and try to pass block. That's kind of a pansy way in their mind to play football.
There is Earhart, architect of 2 Super Bowl winning offenses for the New York Giants. O'Donnell throws, and it's picked off again. This one bounced into the air. Again, Jeff Graham was the intended receiver, and the man with the football is number 59 linebacker Joe Gain. So Neil O'Donnell, 2 early interceptions. The first one did not damage the Steelers except in terms of field position. This one might hurt them on the scoreboard.
O'Donnell here just trying to force this ball in the inside to Graham, trying to get it to him anyway. Anytime a ball is bounced up in the air like that, it always ends up in an interception.
I think Rod Stevens might have gotten a hand in there to pop that ball up into the air.
Used to have a coach who would say, if you're going to miss it, knock it down, don't knock it up, as if that was on your mind.
2 early turnovers for Pittsburgh. This one sets the Seahawks up at the 23-yard line. On first down, Chris Warren is met and dropped as David Little was there first, and then Darren Parry, the rookie free safety, came along to join him.
It would certainly help the Seattle Seahawks if the offense could do something right here, because they know they have a very strong defense. They just have not been able to put the ball in the end zone the entire season.
Well, and the Seahawks have rarely this year had the experience of playing from ahead in the score.
Oh, exactly right. They've always been in a situation where they've tried to have to play catch-up football, and that has not worked for them. Here, they have an excellent opportunity.
Second down, 10 yards to go. Gelbar's pass is dropped by the dependable John L. Williams. 6 consecutive years of catching 50 or more balls, but Williams couldn't hold on to that one in the face of pressure from free safety Darren Parry. So it'll be third down 10 now for Seattle with the ball at the 22-yard line.
You won't see that too often. John L. Williams has sure hands. As I said earlier, one of the best receiving backs coming out of the backfield. And, you know, I say that just after he dropped the ball, but I don't expect him to do that too often. He is sure-handed.
Well, he's had his hands on 2 balls today and hasn't held one. The first would have been a difficult catch, but that one was an easily catchable ball. Third down 10, Steelers with 5 defensive backs. Seahawks go on the ground to John L. Williams, and number 23, reacting quickly, is Sammy Walker, the nickelback, who had just come into the game. Hardy Nickerson was there to join him on the tackle. It'll be field goal time for the Seahawks, who will bring on John Casey to try to put some points on the board.
When you have a swarming defense like the Pittsburgh Steelers do, the worst thing you want to do as an offensive back is run sideways. You got to try to hit that thing going north and south. Anytime they can make you run east and west, then it always works in their favor.
This will be a 40-yard attempt for Casey. Hasn't had a busy year kicking field goals because the Seahawks don't often find themselves in this position, and he misses wide to the left. So Seattle blows a gift-scoring opportunity after the interception by Joe Kane on the ball batted into the air by Rod Stevens, and here's Casey's miss.
Casey just, from the moment he kicked that ball, it was headed in the wrong direction, and he just misses it.
Nothing. The score remains. We've got 8:46 to go in the first at Three Rivers when we come back.
I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me.
Presenting the RCA 52-inch projection screen home theater. It's bigger and brighter than almost anything out there.
Well, I'm the kind of guy who likes to get around. I'm never in one place. I roam from town to town. I got a 3.1 liter V6 engine, 4-speed automatic with overdrive, cruise control, power windows, power locks, air and more.
Just $15,995.
The Oldsmobile Special Edition Cutlass Supreme. It's all yours for a song. It's your money.
Hi, Super Dave Osborne here with Hager wrinkle-free cotton pants. They look great right out of the dryer with no ironing, but Hager's asked me to put them to the ultimate test. I'll wear these pants through high-pressure jets, brushes, and dryers at 3 miles per hour. Ready? Oh, we're out of time. I guess Hager will have to pay me for another commercial. Maybe not. Oh.
New Hager wrinkle-free cottons. 100% cotton, 0% wrinkles.
They're still not wrinkled.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Oldsmobile, the power of intelligent engineering. By John Nuveen and Company, quality tax-free investment since 1898. By Kentucky Fried Chicken, nobody's cooking like today's KFC. And by Black & Decker, the source of powerful gift ideas.
8:46 to go in the first quarter as the Pittsburgh Steelers begin their third possession of the game from the 23-yard line. You look at the numbers on O'Donnell, 2 interceptions already. He stays on the ground with Barry Foster, and Foster has a pickup of about 5 yards out to the 28-yard line. Jeff Bryant made the stop for Seattle.
One of the things we talked about at the top of the broadcast was the fact that O'Donnell did not throw interceptions, and he comes out and throws 2 right off the top. Hopefully he's gotten those out of his system, because at this point in the season for this Steeler football team, you need your quarterback to get on a roll at this point, not go the other way.
O'Donnell, who won a preseason battle with Bubby Bristol for the starting job, and penalty flags are down before the play begins as Barry Foster was getting the football again. After the 6-yard gain on first down, Foster has 3 carries for 12 yards.
Full start, number 67 offense, prior to the snap, 5 yards, still second down.
This is the result of playing in front of a guy who is probably the best in the business that we said so far, Cortez Kennedy. When you have a guy in front of you, you always want to have the jump on him. You certainly don't want him to have the jump on you, and he causes offensive guards all around the league to jump off sides all the time, trying to get an edge on Cortez Kennedy because he is so quick and so strong.
He can do it with a head movement or a shoulder movement, drawing offensive players offside the same way quarterbacks try to do it to defenders. O'Donnell down the middle, interception number 3. The second pick for Eugene Robinson. Again, Jeff Graham was the intended target, so 3 times O'Donnell has tried to go to Graham, and 3 times he has hit white jerseys on the numbers.
That particular time, it appeared that Graham was open. Just an overthrow here by O'Donnell. You see him looking downfield at Graham the entire way, and then you got to keep coming in there for one thing, Jeff Graham. You got to keep coming down there. If you can't catch it, you got to try to knock it down. But it's just like a fly ball to center field to Eugene Robinson if nobody gets in the way of the ball. Once again, you see O'Donnell upset at the throw.
First down, John L. Williams, carrying from the 24-yard line for the Seahawks, has a couple. Gerald Williams, from the nose tackle position, makes the stop for Pittsburgh, along with Aaron Jones. Head coach Bill Cowher having an intense discussion with Neil O'Donnell on the sideline. O'Donnell had 6 interceptions for the season coming into the game and has reached half that number in 4 throws today.
I'm sure he's telling me about trying to do too much. You don't have to make the play entirely on your own.
Second down and 8 yards to go, and the Steeler defense rises up to say hello to Chris Warren. Donald Evans, number 66, brilliantly reclaimed from his years as a Los Angeles Ram. The Rams gave up on Evans after having once made him a number 2 draft choice. The Steelers have turned him into a serviceable player.
No one blocks Donald Evans, as you see in this replay. He runs straight through and tackles the runner. That makes it pretty easy to make that play if nobody blocks you.
There is the offensive summary so far for the Seahawks as Dan Gelbaugh gets ready to call on 3rd and 13. The ball at the 27-yard line. Gelbaugh hasn't gotten much help from his receivers. This one, he throws through the hands of strong safety Carnell Lake. Lake was there covering reserve tight end James Jones, and Gelbaugh's pass was into the hands of Lake, who couldn't hold on.
Lake with excellent coverage on Jones and had a chance to intercept the ball. Had he caught that ball, there was no one in front of him. The first thing he would have ran into was the back end of that end zone down at the other end, because he had a clear path to the end zone had he caught it.
John Casey will drive this one from 45 yards. He has missed a 40-yarder already. Officially, from the statistics booth, they call it 44. Casey's 44-yard attempt is short. So for the second time in 2 possessions, the Seattle Seahawks take the football inside the 25-yard line of the Pittsburgh Steelers and fail to put points on the board.
Oldsmobile presents You Make the Call. Ben Coates of the Patriots makes a diving catch in the back of the end zone, but is unable to place either foot or the ball in the end zone. Now you make the call. Is this a touchdown?
Are you looking for a car with exceptional value? Because the Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme Special Edition has got a V6, 4-speed automatic, air, cruise control, tilt wheel, power windows and locks, AM/FM cassette, and lots of other neat stuff. And it costs only $15,995. Well, you probably want to get back to the game. It's your money.
What call did you make? If a player's feet do not touch down on the field of play, but any other part of his body other than a hand does, then it is a legal catch. And in this case, a touchdown.
Pop quiz.
Oh, no. Fire away.
Which beer do you think is brewed longer?
This one overall has better flavor. The darker one.
Bingo.
All right, homie!
Coors Extra Gold is brewed far longer than Bud.
Seriously?
Than Budweiser? 70% longer than Bud.
And you know what? I can taste it.
Slow brewed for that real beer flavor and color, the way beer was meant to be, which may be why 58% of Bud drinkers prefer Coors Extra Gold.
I'll make it 59 and 60.
Coors Extra Gold. If you're missing real taste, beer is back.
They're gold, baby. The name says it.
I was talking to David Little yesterday about the difference in this team this year under Bill Cowher than it was last year under Chuck Noll. He said the enthusiasm is just incredible. He said he is like one of us down there. As you watch him just go through it there on the sideline, look at him. He gets in everybody's face and gets all the guys to rally around him, and it has worked.
Well, he can remember when he was a player. Hadn't been that long ago.
No, you're exactly right.
O'Donnell on first down gives to Barry Foster. Foster breaks through a hole and has first down yardage across the 35 to about the 38-yard line. They started at the 27, and this will move the chains. An 11-yard pickup for Foster. Eugene Robinson made the stop.
Here comes that big offensive line out in front of Barry Foster, and they're just knocking people out of the way and setting him loose. And you see that great body lean as he gets into the secondary. He always goes forward for more yards. Just an incredible running back that fits perfectly in Ron Earhart's offense.
The favorite NFL running back of President-elect Bill Clinton.
Only because he played at Arkansas?
He's a Razorback hog. They get preferential treatment. Foster on first down has another big gainer up the middle. This time a pickup of close to 10 yards. And the stop was made by Joe Nash, reacting back from his defensive tackle position. But right now, the Steeler offensive line is ripping the Seattle defense.
And then you hit it just right, Jim. That offensive line is just powering out. Anytime you see a running back not have to make any cuts until he's into the secondary, you know that the offensive line is doing a wonderful job. And they really got it going as an offensive line. And once you get it going as a group, you're very hard to stop.
That was a gain of 10 and another first down for Foster. And now On first down, the Seahawks defense stiffens and stops Barry on the sweep for no gain. Tony Woods making the stop from his outside linebacker position. Well, make it defensive end for Tony Woods, and there's defensive coordinator Tom Catlin of the Seahawks, the veteran who was there as part of the previous coaching administration under Chuck Knox and remained on the staff for new head coach Tom Flores.
And he is one of the best defensive coordinators that have probably coordinated ever. He really has put together great defenses everywhere that he's been. And to keep this unit together with the season that they've had is just a wonderful job.
Distinguished service under inordinate pressure. The Seattle Seahawks defense this year. Foster on the draw has another hole up the middle. And again is close to first down yardage into Seattle territory near the 40-yard line before middle linebacker Rod Stevens makes the stop.
Just a delayed play here underneath handoff to Barry Foster, who has a lot of room to run in there. As I mentioned earlier, anytime you give him like 3 free steps, the next person he runs into is going to pay the price.
Now, he was persona non grata in the Knoll administration because of fumbling, but he also had some trouble with the trap plays that the Steelers ran over and over. Under Knoll, Ahmad, they were the only trapping team in the league, and they built their running game around that blocking scheme. This year, total conversion.
And not to mention Tim Worley, who was an excellent running back, but I think that his style fits better with this flat-out attacking type offense rather than that the trapping stuff is, if you don't have a back that's really a strong, powerful runner, then you want to run traps. It's almost tricky kind of stuff. This is flat-out football. You knock the guys out in front of me, and I'll make the cuts and get all the yardage. And Earhart, if you think about Earhart, you remember the offense that he had at the New York Giants with Morris at running back? Same kind of a thing.
Triple tight ends on second down, or third down, I should say, and 1 yard to go for the first down. And Barry Foster is near the first down marker. And we go to New York for an NFL Live update to Bob Costas. Bob.
Jim, the Browns go up 7-0 at home over the Bengals. Kevin Mack does it off left tackle on this 7-yard run. They're still alive for a wild card shot at 6-6. Could go over 500 with a win today. And they grab the early lead, 7-0. Jim?
Steelers looking for a Cleveland loss or a tie with Cincinnati today as Pittsburgh tries to wrap up the AFC Central Championship. But as Bob told us, the Browns go up 7-0 early. Meanwhile, Barry Foster picked up the first down on 3rd and 1. And now on 1st and 10, just inside the 40, a Steeler timeout. Neil O'Donnell comes to the sideline to talk to Bill Cowher. 3:03 in the first, no score. We'll be back.
This is the Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme Special Edition. It's got a V6, 4-speed automatic, air, cruise control, and other neat stuff. It's also $4,000 less than a Honda Accord, $4,100 less than a Toyota Camry, and more than $5,000 less than that Nissan Maxima. The Cutlass Supreme Special Edition. It's your choice.
The more income your investments earn, the more taxes are taken out. But with Nuveen tax-free investments, the more you earn, the more you keep. Ask your financial advisor about Nuveen tax-free investments, or simply call this number.
Just try Black & Decker's Power Driver with torque control. You'll notice one major difference, the clutch. The higher the setting, the more powerful it gets. Power Driver and Power Driver with torque control from Black & Decker.
This is the end of how you think about dandruff shampoo, of Head & Shoulders as you now know it. Now it's better. Because new Head & Shoulders gets to 10 times more of the places dandruff starts to help prevent flakes. Would you try this with your ordinary shampoo? I think not. No other shampoo has this formula. New Head & Shoulders. This could be the end of flakes. Period.
They invited them into their lives. Now they may never get them out. Emma Samms, Parker Stevenson, Shadow of a Stranger, NBC Monday.
I Ahmad, Saturday, don't miss NBA Inside Stuff. The entertainment show of the NBA, which you will be pleased to know, is hosted by yourself in Willow Bay. Willow travels to the Motor City and meets with Piston veteran Isaiah Thomas. You didn't get to go. Go behind the scenes with her as she gets a personal tour of Isaiah's very own television production company. Plus all the latest news and highlights from around the league, all Saturday morning on NBC. Check your local listings for Inside Stuff. First down and 10 for the Steelers. Pitch back to O'Donnell. Throwing in the flat to Dwight Stone. Flags down all over the field as Stone makes the catch and goes out of bounds at the 25-yard line.
Patrick Hunter shows you what a veteran defensive back will do. As you can see Jeff Graham running down the field. As soon as he saw that it was the old flea flicker play, he just tackled Jeff Graham right off the bat, rather than give him the touchdown, because he was getting ready to blow right by him.
Of course, as it turns out, O'Donnell wasn't looking in that direction. Defensive holding, number 27. Penalty is refused. First down.
Good play by Patrick Hunter, because if he doesn't grab this guy, Graham, it's a touchdown. There's a little pitch back to O'Donnell. We won't be able to see it. It happened right in the middle of the screen, but it just as he was getting ready to, Graham was getting ready to blow by Patrick Hunter, he just tackled him, and that's a good move.
Steelers declined the penalty, take the 15-yard pickup on the pass from O'Donnell to Stone. It's first down at the 25-yard line. There's Hunter, the man who made the play about which Ahmad was speaking, which drew the flag that was declined. Foster on first down has a pickup of a couple inside the 25 to about the 23-yard line. And Cortez Kennedy made the stop, number 99 for the Seattle Seahawks.
Cortez Kennedy has everything that you need. You know, it's almost like that commercial that says you can have all the stuff and all the other stuff, but do you have the heart? Cortez has the heart. He has such excellent football instincts, and to be able to play at this level every single week, and he has so much joy with it. When I talked to him yesterday, he is having the time of his life out here playing against these people.
And he's already exceeded the totals that you saw there for 1991. This year, more than 80 tackles, 9.5 sacks. On second down, Foster again with the football. And this time, number 94, Rod Stevens knocks him down as Barry gets just inside the 20. It'll be third down, about 4 yards to go for a Steeler first down.
Duval Love, the guard for the Pittsburgh Steelers, was talking about what his wife had said about Cortez Kennedy. She was watching him on football on Monday night, and she said, well, look at him. His shirt's out of his pants, and he doesn't look like he's that good. And Duval didn't say anything. And as the game went on and on, Duval's wife said, well, maybe he's a little bit better. He's a little bit better than that.
Maybe he can play after all with that shirt tail out, huh?
Yeah, it doesn't matter how he looks.
Duval knew what he'd be facing today. Steelers are 1 for 2 on third down as O'Donnell out of the shotgun on 3rd and 4 throws down the middle, complete, and it's a touchdown for Ernie Mills. A 19-yard touchdown pass on 3rd down, and Mills, the second-year man out of Florida, who is emerging as a big play receiver for the Steelers, makes one here.
And when you throw a few interceptions, you have to back up and keep throwing the ball anyway, as you see O'Donnell hit Ernie Mills in his ball. And very good running after the catch. Nice little dance in there to get away from a couple of tackles to get into the end zone.
And Gary Anderson adds the point after touchdown. So with 1 minute, 9 seconds still to go in the first quarter, the Steelers, after some early mistakes, which had given Seattle its scoring opportunities, take advantage of one of their own. O'Donnell with the pass to Ernie Mills.
Ernie Mills there, he breaks one tackle, breaks another one, and then continues on into the end zone. A very nice play by the Pittsburgh Steelers. O'Donnell, once again, as we mentioned, he's thrown a few interceptions today, but he comes right back and still fires it in there and knows he knows it's a touchdown.
And he went down the middle against the safety blitz, which turned out to be an excellent choice.
He's not a rookie quarterback. He came in with some experience. He can pick up blitzes and take advantage of them as he hits Mills for that touchdown. And the first guy to meet him coming off the field was Bill Cowher. We talked about Cowher's enthusiasm, and it affects every single element of this entire team. Not only the defense, not only the offense, but every single player.
Steeler receivers, Jeff Graham, Dwight Stone, Ernie Mills, Charles Davenport, not big names, but when you have a running back like Foster, it creates a lot of opportunities for the wide receivers to pick their spots.
It certainly does. In this offense, you won't catch a lot of balls, but the ones that you do catch will be major impact balls. they'll be touchdowns or 20 yards down the field.
Gary Anderson kicking off. Chris Warren and Reuben Mays coming up to look for the football, and Warren has it across the 15, across the 20, and out near the 30-yard line before he's knocked down by Warren Williams, number 42, the reserve running back. A 21-yard return of the short kick by Chris Warren, and the Seahawks will have a favorable place from which to start. As we remind you, next Saturday, a special afternoon of great NFL action on NBC begins with NFL Live, then the rematch between Denver and Buffalo when last they met last year with a Super Bowl berth on the line. The Broncos played the Bills tough but came up short. This year, the Broncos are again in the playoff picture, and their hopes ride on the sore right shoulder of John Elway. On the other side, Jim Kelly and the Bills look for their 5th consecutive AFC East title and home field advantage in the playoffs, for which their primary competition is the Steelers. And there is a Steeler interception of the ball batted into the air. David Little, the 12th-year linebacker out of Florida, makes yet another big play for the Steel Curtain.
David Little, a player who had 3 sacks last week, said it was the best game that he's had in a long time. All of a sudden, comes up with this interception. Now, I just mentioned earlier, anytime you see a ball bounce up in the air off a receiver, 9 times out of 10, it is going to be intercepted.
It was Donald Evans who batted the ball into the air, and that technique of leaping to cut off the passing lanes and bat the ball up is something that the Steelers have been doing all year.
17 passes batted down at the line of scrimmage, and that is a technique. That's not anything that they just fluked up. That's something that they work on every single day, and it appears to work.
They sprung it on Warren Moon and the Oilers in game number 1 and haven't stopped since. Little Statue of Liberty play to Foster on first down, and Barry has a pickup of a couple before Joe Kane reacted from the outside linebacker spot to make the stop for Seattle.
Good play by Joe Kane. If Joe Kane doesn't make that tackle, I think Barry Foster is maybe off and running. Here you see just a little misdirection on the pass. Hands it off to Foster. Foster trying to pick up some speed, but here comes Joe Kane. A fine tackle. Once again, but you see there's nobody behind Joe Kane. Joe Kane is blocked. Foster is off and running.
It was a pickup of only 2 on the good play by Kane. 2nd down 8 as the clock runs down. And this is the last play of the first quarter. Foster hammering off right tackle and met by Jeff Bryant after a pickup of about 3 or perhaps 4. It will be 3rd down for the Steelers with the ball at the 24-yard line of Seattle when the 2nd quarter begins.
America's first Napa Auto Parts.
At Napa, you'll always find top-quality parts at a fair price. Plus, great holiday gift ideas for under $20. Like Napa's toy truck, with real truck sounds, just $19.95. Black & Decker's Carback Plus, only $19.95. And Napa's 3-amp battery charger, just $4.95 after rebate. Save on great gifts for under $20. At Napa, America's first choice.
Only Delta gives you more flights from over here to over there. Only Delta flies you non-stop to more cities from over here to over there. In fact, only Delta flies you non-stop to more cities in Europe than all these airlines combined. Delta, we love to fly, and it shows. The world over.
If you could see inside your suitcase when you travel, you'd see how Samsonite Hardside protects what's inside. Because Samsonite has a crush-resistant outer shell and a durable hardside construction that's designed to hold up over the long haul.
Daddy, did you bring me anything?
Samsonite Hardside. After all, you've got your life in there.
Braun introduces Flex Control, the first electric shaver with a pivoting head. It automatically adjusts to every contour of your face. Flex Control from Braun, the last word in shavers.
We bring you back to Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh, and you look at the lopsided first quarter statistics, which help to underline the Steelers' 7-0 lead. 98 total yards for the Steel City team, -1 so far for Seattle and Stan Gelbaugh, as Neil O'Donnell calls the numbers now on 3rd down, 5 yards to go for Pittsburgh. Need to get the football to the 19-yard line. Under pressure, O'Donnell delivers to Stone, and Stone is going to be short of the first down marker. Didn't make it to the 20-yard line. Good open field tackle by Patrick Hunter.
Just a delayed play to Dwight Stone trying to come out of the backfield and run it out there in the flat, but Patrick Hunter on just a sure-handed tackle, just keeping Stone from getting that first down. Good tackle by Patrick Hunter.
In just a minute, I'll give you some scores from other games. Meanwhile, Gary Anderson, as you can see, the 16th career scorer in the National Football League, lines up now to try for a 39-yard field goal, which would make the score 10-0 Pittsburgh. And as is his custom, Gary Anderson nails it. Officially, it is called a 38-yard field goal, and Cowher and the Steelers now have a 10-0 margin just a few plays into the second quarter. Scores from elsewhere around the league. In Milwaukee, Green Bay leads Detroit 14-0. A Darrell Thompson run and a Brett Favre pass to Sterling Sharp. Indianapolis on top of New England 3-0. The game is in Foxborough. Minnesota leading at Philadelphia 3-0 in the first on a Revez field goal. The Jets and Buffalo are tied at 3 apiece in the first quarter at Buffalo. At Cleveland, Cleveland leads Cincinnati now 10-0. A Kevin Mack touchdown run and a Stover field goal. Keep you up to date as scores develop throughout the afternoon here on NBC Sports.
The Seattle Seahawks once again have gotten themselves in a situation where they've got to play catch-up football, but if you saw the game on Monday night, one thing that Tom Flores has done very well with this team is they don't quit. They keep playing hard. They're trying to do the best that they can do, and they've got to just keep playing hard here today.
And whatever confidence they gained from their experience Monday night will stand them in good stead now as they fall behind early against the Steelers, much in the same way they did against the Denver Broncos. Anderson to kick it off. Again, Chris Warren and Reuben Mays are at the goal line for the Seahawks. This one is headed toward Mays, and he'll take it at the 3-yard line. The runner they picked up in a trade from the New Orleans Saints has it across the 20 to about the 24-yard line. Levon Kirkland made the stop after the 22-yard return. Next Saturday, watch history in the making when the 1992 Heisman Trophy is presented to this year's outstanding college football player. Past winners are household names like Hornung, Staubach, Simpson, Dorsett, and Campbell. This year, another exceptional group of candidates. Miami's Gino Torretta, San Diego State's Marshall Faulk, Georgia's Garrison Hurst, Notre Dame's Reggie Brooks. One of the closest races ever is possible. Find out who takes home the trophy next Saturday at 3:30 Eastern Time, live, immediately following NFL football here on NBC. On first down, from the 24-yard line, the pitchback is to John L. Williams, and flag fly as Williams has a couple across the 25-yard line. Kenny Davidson making the stop from his defensive end position for the Steelers.
Jim, is the Heisman Trophy, is that a secret ballot? Because you have a vote, don't you?
I have a vote, yeah.
Offensive holding, number 83.
I can tell you who I voted for.
10 yards.
Do you want to know?
Repeat first down.
Yeah, I thought...
There was the ruling from referee Larry Nemers. I voted for Reggie Brooks. And that vote was open to consideration right up until Monday afternoon. Almost voted for Garrison Hurst, but I was won over by the explosiveness of Brooks' performance in the last 3 games of the season.
It's a tough year. I mean, you can't go wrong with any of those guys.
No, they're all good football players, and it's a difficult year to choose. And any one of them would be a reasonably worthy choice for the trophy. On first down, after the 10-yard penalty, Yelbaugh in trouble at the 5-yard line is dumped by Kenny Davidson. And the Steeler defense, which only had 17 sacks before last week's game, is coming into its own as a pass-rushing unit. Gerald Williams was there also.
Well, Gilbaugh having a lot of time here. He sets down. He just can't find a receiver open. And then by the time he starts feeling that pressure, then there's no way he can still go downfield. But you talk about the Steelers' defense. Anytime you come out of a game where you have 10 sacks, you go into the next one thinking you're going to get 10 or 12 that game, too. So that's the mindset of this defensive team, is that we can get sacks from now on.
9-yard loss. It's second down, 29 yards to go from the 6-yard line. Gelbaugh with the safe call, the draw play to Warren, and Warren has a gain of about 6 across the 10 to the 12 before Hardy Nickerson made the stop.
Hardy Nickerson from the University of Oregon, another fellow Fighting Duck. Fine player, been in the league about 11 years. Oregon puts out that kind of talent. Thought I was kidding you.
In the 6 yards, third down, 23.
Hardy Nickerson. I thought Hardy Nickerson went to Oregon. It's Brian Hinkle.
We got you. Third down, 23 yards to go. Ball at the 12-yard line. Gelbaugh needs to get it to the 35. Nickerson went to Cal. Brian Hinkle went to Oregon. And Gelbaugh delivers to the sideline. A safe throw with flags down all over the field. No receiver nearby.
Offside, defense, number 95, 5 yards, repeat third down.
So Greg Lloyd trying to come on the blitz, gives Gelbaugh and the Seahawks a break as they'll get an extra 5 yards and another crack at third down. Ahmad so anxious to credit the Oregon Ducks.
That's without question. But two fine athletes from the Pac-10.
There you go.
Does that save me?
There you go. Now you're cooking with gas. Now you've got the Coleman cook stove heated
That's
up.
right, just a little south of Eugene.
And I'm sure that they enjoy playing with each other because of the similarity of their roots. So make it third down, 18 now. And Gelbaugh and the Seahawks. Steelers again show blitz with Carnell Lake up in the middle. He elects to come, and he dumped the ball out to John L. Williams, and Williams is close to first down yardage across the 30 near the 35-yard line before Sammy Walker ran him out of bounds.
John L. Williams, another Seahawk. We were talking about heart. This young man here has a heart the size of all outdoors. He really plays hard. And we also talked about him being an excellent receiver out of the backfield. You see him catch this ball and take it down the sideline.
And he made it to the first down marker and beyond to pick up the 22 on 3rd and 19. So the Seahawks, with help from the 5-yard offside penalty against Greg Lloyd, convert a third down into a first down. Warren with a big hole. And the Seahawk tailback gets up the middle for 9 yards before Carnell Lake makes the stop.
And the Seattle Seahawks finally get something going offensively. If you'll watch, here's Greg Lloyd, number 95, and there goes the runner, runs right by him. Lloyd, though, with the excellent pursuit, trying to force it inside.
He's had a terrific year at outside linebacker, and you can see that he was the Steelers' most valuable player last season. So Greg Lloyd continues a high level of play. Warren got enough for a first down. They gave him 10. So now on first down from the 49-yard line, trying to get into Steeler territory, Warren is met by nose tackle Gerald Williams, and there are heated words on a chilly day in Pittsburgh.
This offense has had so much trouble over the course of the season. The only way that you really get a lot of confidence is if you can run plays that work, and then it reinforces the fact that they do work because you make them work every time you do it. But if you're never hitting on all cylinders, then all of a sudden there's Larry Keenan, the offensive coordinator. It's very hard to draw some confidence when you know the last time you tried that play, it didn't work.
Keenan was Gelbaugh's head coach, and Gelbaugh was the star of the London Monarchs in the World League of American Football. On second down, 10 yards to go, Gelbaugh overthrows Tommy Kane along the sideline.
That's one of the reasons why Gelbaugh has been so comfortable in this offense, because it's the same offense that they ran when Keenan and Gelbaugh were together in London. It's a strange situation with the Seahawks team. They have recycled quarterbacks. They started with the number 1 quarterback, then he got hurt. They went to 2 quarterback, he got hurt. They went to 3, he got hurt. Now they went back to 1, and now they're back at 3. So they have had just a problem keeping some consistency at that quarterback position.
Third down 9. They need to get the football to the 41-yard line for a first down. Seahawks are 1 of 5 on third down conversions, and that was the last one, the 22-yard swing pass to John L. Williams. Plenty of protection for Gelbaugh. Now he just gets rid of the ball to John L. Williams in the flat, and again, Williams makes a play. Gets past the chain, inside the 30, inside the 25, dropped the football out of bounds when hit by Sammy Walker, but it will be Seahawk football and a first down near the 20 of Pittsburgh after a 26-yard pickup by John L. Williams.
John L. Williams with great running. You see Gelbaugh here knows he's in trouble. He's trying to look down the field to find a receiver. Can't find anybody. Now he knows he's got a safety valve over here on the left, and he gets the ball away, and then John L. Williams does the rest. You see John L. Williams run out of the arms of Gerald Williams here, number 98. Now he's off. Nice move there. Takes it on down the field.
John L. Williams is a real pro. First down at the 23-yard line, as for the second time in a row, the Seahawks convert a third down. And they've got good blocking on the backside for the end around, as Brian Blades has a gain of about 7 down near the 16-yard line before Rod Woodson made the stop at the corner for the Steelers. And Blades appears to be hurt again. Broke his collarbone on his very first play of the season, and that crippled the Seahawk offense right up until last week when he came back to catch 6 balls, including the game-tying touchdown on the last play for the Seahawks. But now he writhes on the field, and as we wait to see what's wrong with Brian Blades, we'll be back 10-0 second quarter in Pittsburgh.
Mom sent pictures. You're as big as a house.
Oh, you should see me.
Moments like this were made for Gold MasterCard. With the added credit you've earned. It's a long drawing, and you'll need the map. Plus, no card is more welcomed. At home or abroad.
Oh, Lori, I can't believe it. How in the world?
Gold MasterCard. The best gold card to master the moment.
Citizen, 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 elegant citizen, citizen, elegant. Citizen, citizen, one citizen with lots of citizen, elegant, elegant, but you never go citizen, we've got elegance.
It's 30 below. You've got a cold, cough, you've got a real problem.
We've added the leading cough suppressant to the proven cold relief of Alka-Seltzer Plus.
I have no sneezes, no coughs, no runny nose. I took Alka-Seltzer Plus cold and cough this morning.
Alka-Seltzer Plus cold and cough. It's tough medicine. Everything we put into the Chevy Lumina is backed by a bumper-to-bumper warranty. And we mean everything. For 3 years or 36,000 miles, you're covered. And there's no deductible. If anything goes wrong, we'll fix it. And we mean anything. Every Chevrolet has this bumper-to-bumper warranty. We build them like this, we can back them like that. What else would you expect from the heartbeat of America?
This Seattle Seahawks team has had such bad luck in terms of injuries. Right here you see Brian Blades on the reverse, and he's the guy that's been out with a broken collarbone just back the last couple of weeks. And here, right as he's taken down, you see that right ankle get caught up underneath Kenny Davidson, and Blades now still walking over there on the sideline. Looks like he will return, but just a horrible-looking tackle when he went down underneath that tackle.
On second down 5, though, Chris Warren pops up the middle, flags down as Warren goes inside the 10 to the 8-yard line, which would set up first and goal for Seattle, but the holding call against the Seahawks will bring it back.
Holding, offense, number 82, 10 yards, repeat second down.
It's the tight end, Ron Heller, who gets the holding call, and Tom Flores is going to be seeing these in his nightmares for months to come.
Well, you see Heller. You see Lloyd gets his arm caught up in there, but he's past Heller, and the only thing Heller can do is he keeps his arm on the front of that jersey and then just pulls him down. That's a takedown there. Obviously a holding penalty on Heller, but he's got his hands full with Greg Lloyd.
Brian Blades, twisted ankle, should be able to return, we are told, from the Seahawks sideline. Second down, 15 yards to go now for the Seahawks out at the 29. Yell ball fast, batted into the air. Free ball there for a second, but it fell harmlessly to the turf. It'll be third down, 15 yards to go for Seattle.
We mentioned earlier that that's one of the things that this Pittsburgh Steeler front line does so well is they get their hands up in the air on any sort of a pass play. And we mentioned coming into this game they had 17 balls that they had batted up into the air. I guess that makes it, they've had 2 today, that's about 19.
Steeler defense has allowed fewer touchdowns than any other in the league. 10th play of the drive for Seattle. Twice they have converted third downs. Now they have third and 15. He can get the football to the 13-yard line. Gelbaugh breaks out of the pocket. In the end zone, Tommy Kane, touchdown. Sammy Walker, the nickelback, lost track of Tommy Kane, and Stan Gelbaugh gets a 28-yard TD strike for the Seahawks.
Give Gelbaugh a lot of credit on this play because he really was under a lot of pressure. And Tommy Kane, here's another wide receiver that's been injured the entire year, just back recently, runs this pattern, sees Gelbaugh coming. Now watch, see, as he puts their hands up, says, throw it out in front of me. Gelbaugh able to have the wherewithal to find him and puts it in the end zone.
It was Gerald Williams, number 57, who was coming from outside linebacker to put pressure on Gelbaugh, but the resilient former University of Maryland quarterback stepped up and made the play. John Casey adds the extra point. And so now, the Steelers.
The beginning of fully conditioned, great-looking hair. Head and Shoulders 2-in-1. You get complete conditioners with our proven dandruff shampoo all in one for what could be the end of flakes and the beginning of something great. Head and Shoulders 2-in-1.
A twin blade from Bic?
What's in it for me? This is new?
A twin for normal skin and a twin for sensitive, right? It was good.
The new Bic Twin Select.
Made a big man out of me.
Some of us are self-cleaning. Some of us aren't. Clean, not so clean. Groomed, oh well. Oddly enough, it's the same with water heaters. Some don't care how messy they are, but State water heaters self-clean with a patented way to prevent harmful sediment buildup. And since they use natural gas, they heat water for half the cost of electricity. For those other self-cleaners. Clean natural gas, America's best energy value.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. By Citizen Watches. Citizen, we've got elegance. By Grape Nuts Cereal. Breakfast with Grape Nuts helps keep you going strong all morning long. And by Head & Shoulders 2-in-1, with complete conditioners built in.
After a 10-play, 75-yard drive, in which the Seahawks, probably for the first time all year, converted 3 long third downs in the same drive, Seattle has narrowed Pittsburgh's lead to 10-7. Rod Woodson taking John Casey's kick, and he gets outside to the sideline, but only across the 20 to the 21-yard line before he's run out of bounds. Robert Blackman, number 25, downfield to make the play. There's Tommy Kane, who just picked up the 28-yard touchdown strike from Stan Gelbaugh.
Stan Gelbaugh here with the luxury of having pretty good line blocking here. Watch him step up inside the pocket. Now he's still looking downfield. He sees Tommy Kane, and just as he feels himself coming to that line of scrimmage, he lets the ball go. That's a good offensive play by everybody involved. Good line blocking, good route running, and a good play by Stan Gelbaugh.
Great piece of improvisation by Gelbaugh, who improvised 3 times in the drive, twice to John L. Williams, and then on that play to Tommy Kane. On first down, the Steelers go with the screen to Barry Foster, and Foster, who catches the ball as well as runs with it, has his 26th reception of the year, and a pickup of about 7. It'll be 2nd down 3. Eugene Robinson on the stop.
As great a year as Barry Foster's having, when we were talking to him yesterday, he said, you know, a couple years ago, I almost quit. I said, you almost quit? He was so frustrated playing behind the other running back that they had here. He didn't feel like Chuck Noll was giving him a fair shot. And somebody asked him what was he going to do if he quit. He said, well, I just get a regular 9-to-5 job, I guess. And I guarantee you that the Steelers are glad that he did not quit, because he has come back and put up just superb numbers.
2nd down, 3 yards to go. And Foster has first down yardage across the 30 to about the 34-yard line. Rod Stevens makes the stop for New England.
You saw there, we had talked about the body lean of Foster, always going forward. And he just picks up an extra 3 or 4 yards there just because of his low running style.
Want to hear about a hot team maybe headed to the playoffs, Ahmad? Yep. Up in Milwaukee, the Packers have scored 2 more touchdowns in the second quarter. Another Favre touchdown pass, a Tony Bennett fumble recovery. They lead Detroit 28-0 as they strive to make their record 7-6. O'Donnell fumbles the ball backward and now just looks to run to a safe place and gets to about the 27 before he's brought down. It'll be a loss of 8 yards, 2nd and 18. Rufus Porter there to cover Neil O'Donnell.
O'Donnell not having a extremely good game at this point, just kind of mishandles the handoff, and lucky that ball bounced right back up to him.
In Philadelphia, the Vikings have gone ahead of the Eagles 10-7 on a Terry Allen touchdown run in the second period. We'll give you more scores as we go along. Second down, 17. O'Donnell fakes to Foster. Now looks down the middle and throws too high for the leaping wide receiver Dwight Stone. Good coverage on Stone by number 29, Dwayne Harper.
Yeah, Dwayne Harper was on Stone like a blanket, had him there, covered the entire time. Good defensive coverage there by Harper.
17. So now it will be 3rd down, 17 for the Steelers.
Not a good situation for this type of an offense, 3rd down and 17, when they're more used to just punching it out, running it out. Here they got to drop back and throw.
Neil O'Donnell so far 5 of 9 for 49 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. O'Donnell and Gelbaugh were college teammates at Maryland. Screen is to number 34, Leroy Thompson, and Thompson is going to be dropped short of first down yardage by Nesby Glasgow in the game on the dime defense for the Seattle Seahawks. Glasgow, the reigning Seahawk veteran with 14 years in that uniform after having left the University of Washington. So now we get our first look at the Steeler punter, Mark Royals. Royals on the season has had 55 kicks for nearly a 43-yard average. Chris Warren takes this one at the 15-yard line, gets outside across the 20, and will go out of bounds at the 22-yard line. 49-yard punt, 6-yard return. Leroy Thompson was there to run Warren out of bounds. We've got 5:52 to go before halftime. Close game, 10-7 Pittsburgh over Seattle. We are back at Three Rivers Stadium, where the Steelers are hoping to earn a victory which will help them to nail down their 10th AFC Central Division Championship since the merger in 1970. They lead 10-7.
Who would have thought that at the beginning of the season?
Gelbaugh down the middle, and he hits number 89, Brian Blades. Football loose. Steelers have it near midfield. It is number 44, D.J. Johnson, who has been alert at cornerback all year. He picked up the loose football after Brian Blades was separated from it.
Brian Blades with a very nice route, very nice catch, and then not able to put it away. You see him drive Woodson back and then break it across the middle as he's coming across. Nice throw by Gelbaugh. He's got it, but there you see that nice play by Woodson that you see more and more defensive backs doing these days, where they just strip the ball from the receiver.
And particularly when coming from behind. And that's the 5th forced fumble of the year for Woodson, who is one of the premier big play cornerbacks in the entire NFL. On first down from the 49-yard line, Barry Foster breaks the tackle and goes out of bounds inside the Seahawks 45 to the 42-yard line. It was Eugene Robinson who ultimately ran him out of bounds.
Watch Foster when he hits the pile the first time. If we can see number 77, Jeff Bryant, come off the back end of that pile. Now here comes, you want to talk about somebody running powerful. Just watch, see number 77? Knocked him all the way off the pile and then bounced off of it and kept going.
That's Foster, and that's the kind of year he's been having. Well, you got to feel bad for Brian Blades. Comes back on the field after the ankle sprain, makes a 26-yard catch, and has it knocked away by Woodson from behind. Second down 1 after the 9-yard pickup for Foster on first down, and now a big play by number 77, Jeff Bryant, who this time held on.
Jeff Bryant now shows that even though he's been in the league for a long time, he's still got some quickness as he makes a great move at the line of scrimmage and comes up with the tackle. As you see there, he's second all-time sack list, right behind Jacob Green.
Number 1 draft choice out of Clemson in 1982. My memory tells me he was the 4th or 5th player picked in the draft that year. And though he has not had a spectacular career, he has had a steady, top-drawer run at defensive end all of the years. Third down now, 2 yards to go. Timeout on the field. As the Steelers were running short of time, and for the second time in the first half, they called timeout to get themselves organized. We'll be back.
Why drive an imitation when you can drive the vehicle that originated the species? Chevy Blazer.
His name was James R. Hoffa. Some had a reason to love him. Some had a reason to fear him. He did what he had to do. 20th Century Fox presents Jack Nicholson, Danny DeVito, Hoffa, rated R. Starts Christmas Day at theaters everywhere.
Some fur. Some fur. Everyone Preferred stock cologne from Stetson. What preferred men prefer.
This season, when you buy a KFC holiday meal, I'll give you a coupon book worth up to $75 on select Mattel toys. The KFC holiday meal. Feed a family of 4, just $9.99.
Happy holidays!
Next Saturday, relive memorable moments from the 1992 World Figure Skating Championships.
With Olympic gold medalists Christy Yamaguchi and Victor Petrenko.
Olympic bronze medalist Nancy Kerrigan and more.
A special holiday presentation of the World Figure Skating Championships.
Next Saturday on NBC Sports World.
As we bring you back to Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh, I'm Tim Lampley with Ahmad Rashad. 4:23 to go before halftime. My correction, it was not Pittsburgh which called the timeout moments ago, but rather Seattle trying to get itself organized on defense. So each team has used one timeout so far. And O'Donnell, out of the shotgun on 3rd down 3, looks across the middle. Good catch by Jeff Graham. Graham turning behind himself to make the catch, gets inside the 25 to about the 24-yard line. The ball came loose, but after Graham had been ruled down, a 19-yard pickup, first down on a 3rd down conversion for the Steel City gang.
And you will see O'Donnell here with time to pass. Here's Graham working. Now here he comes across the middle, and O'Donnell able to hold on and then fire the ball once he gets open. And a nice run there by Jeff Graham after the catch. But that was a good play by O'Donnell holding on to the ball, waiting for Graham to get open.
Graham had been the intended target on all 3 O'Donnell interceptions in the first period. None of them led to Seahawks scores. Foster loses yardage, getting a slow start on the draw play there. Tony Woods there to cover Foster for the Seahawks. Woods, the former #1 draft choice out of Pitt in 1987, making a big homecoming today. How many tickets did Tony have to give out?
He probably had to give out a lot. He's a real Pitt. He got a panther on his arm that he had tattooed on there. Yeah. I got a duck on my arm.
I don't believe that.
It's not as big as that panther, though. My arm's not
I don't
as big.
believe you have even the smallest of ducks on your arm. You may imagine that you have a duck on your arm. Or you're trying to sell this fiction, but there's no tattoo there. You should get yourself a little duck earring. 2 minutes, 50 seconds to go before halftime. First down now. In and out of the hands of Rod Stevens, into the hands of Barry Foster, and a big break for the Steelers as Foster goes inside the 10 to set up 1st and goal at the 7-yard line. Rod Stevens was staring at the 4th Neil O'Donnell interception of the game.
He was also staring at that end zone on the other end of the field. That's, I think, the reason why he missed his ball. O'Donnell throws this ball right at Stevens, and it just goes right through his hand, right there. Hit him in the hands, on the shoulder, And then a great job by Foster, still watching that ball, hanging with it and catching it on the rebound.
What a play by Barry Foster. What a regret for Rod Stevens as the Steelers start with 1st and goal at the 7. And the workman-like running back, Foster gets it inside the 5 to about the 4. 2-minute warning arrives. Steelers trying to capitalize and go back on top by 10 as we get ready to go into the end of the half.
Good. Now I can go to bed.
Wait a minute. I want to give you a gift while we're alone. Something just for you.
A washer and dryer.
Come on, be serious.
Okay.
Close your eyes. Come on. Merry Christmas.
This Christmas, give her the gift of love. Diamonds.
The quick finish power sander from Black & Decker. To do as much as easily, your hand would have to move at 15,000 strokes per minute and be equipped with a handy on-off switch. The quick finish power sander, a powerful gift idea from Black & Decker.
Citizen, 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 elegant citizen, citizen, elegant. Oh, his citizen, one citizen with lots of citizen, elegant, elegant, African elegant citizen, we've got elegance.
I feel fantastic. For 40 years, I've been eating grape nuts and feeling great.
Why does John Flays love grape nuts so much?
If you eat something like grape nuts that is fat-free, I feel good.
Grape nuts, the fat-free natural energy source.
I'm talking about a natural energy that stays with you all morning. I love the taste of grape nuts, and I like the texture of it. Trying other cereals brings me right back to grape nuts.
Breakfast with Post-Grape Nut cereal helps keep you going strong all morning long.
Take a week. Try them. I know you're going to like them.
The 49ers. The Dolphins. 2 Super Bowl contenders in a San Francisco showdown. Next.
Season-long tale of 2 coaches in their first years in their respective jobs. Unexpected success for Bill Cowher in Pittsburgh. Unexpected misery for Tom Flores in Seattle. Beginning really with that first series in the opening game when Brian Blades broke his collarbone. On 2nd and goal, Neil O'Donnell throws it out of bounds. Adrian Cooper covered in the flat by strong safety Robert Blackman, and it will be 3rd down goal now for the Steelers, who have converted 3 of 6 third downs so far in the game.
Good coverage there by Blackman. He had him the entire way, and a wise thing for O'Donnell to do was to throw that ball away rather than trying to force it into his tight end.
There was a first quarter lapse in the Steelers' largely mistake-free offensive performance for the year. O'Donnell throwing 3 interceptions, but the Hawks weren't able to capitalize. 3rd down blitz, and there's a flag at the goal line as number 89, the intended receiver Ernie Mills, was knocked down by nickelback Brian Davis.
That was certainly the mismatch. You take your wide receiver out there, and they bring in the 5th defensive back.
Interference. Number 34, 1st down on the 1-yard line.
They bring in Brian Davis to try to play defense in. It was sort of a route where the receiver wanted to run it to the post, turn around, and bring it back out to the outside, and Davis just caught holding with that left hand.
They had Blackman coming on the safety blitz. O'Donnell had to deliver, and the Seahawks catch yet another bad break. So it becomes 1st and goal now at the 1. Triple tight ends for Pittsburgh. Barry Foster fumbles the football, and the Seahawks believe they've got it. Foster was looking for his 10th touchdown of the year.
Boy, there was some collisions up in the middle of that line. As you look at number 78, Gary Howe was the upback on that play. He was leading Foster through. Now that's a load. That is a load, Gary Howe.
Well, I guess the Seahawks did not get the football, though. Steeler offense stays on the field. I think Foster got back on it, Ahmad.
Once again, Howe lined up at that fullback position.
2nd and goal, and a brilliant stoppage by the Seahawk defense. Well, this is where the pride of the Seattle defenders really shows up.
Yeah, this is This is what it's all about. This is football right down here. There are no tricks. This is just line up and see who's the toughest in a situation like this. But boy, that we've seen William the Refrigerator play some fullback, but I don't think he's as quick as Gary Howe. He hit that line of scrimmage going 100 miles an hour.
Gary Howe is 298 pounds, a first-year player out of Colorado. That's him just in front of Barry Foster. And Foster on third down and goal is still short of the goal line. So now the Steelers have a decision to make on fourth and goal inside the 1-yard line.
I think you go for it. I think if you look, and there's Cowher, he's thinking it's, he got the same thing too. They want to call a timeout and talk about it a little bit. He looks like he's telling him to go to the line of scrimmage and then call a timeout. But with Seattle having the offensive troubles that they've had, I don't know what you have to lose here in going for the touchdown, especially if you want to add some confidence to your offense. You're supposed to be a ball control, a ball running offense. Then go ahead and go give it a shot. You can't move it a foot.
Well, Cowher wants the clock to tick down to ensure that this will be the last play from scrimmage of the half. And for some reason, they decided to stop it at 14. I thought they'd let it go farther. Maybe that's as far as they could go without incurring the delay of game penalty.
This is one of those confidence builders. I mean, it's one of those situations where if you take the offensive line out, it's almost saying, well, we don't think you can get that yard, so we're going to take the little chippy three-pointer, as opposed to saying, hey, this is football, boys. You just get in there and go ahead and fire it up.
But they give Seattle a chance to earn a big psychological lift going into the locker room. If they can stop them on this play, they would still be only 3 points down at halftime, and they'd be the ones with an emotional uptick going into the dressing room. Excuse me, Ahmad, just a moment. Coming up at halftime, the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report. Joining Bob Costas in the studio will be O.J. Simpson and Joe Namath. Please forgive me, Ahmad.
That's all right. I think that with the trouble that Seattle's offense is having, you take that chance. And Cowher obviously feels the same way as they get ready to go for it.
Triple tight end. Again, Gary Howe, the backup nose tackle in front of Foster. Campbell in motion. And O'Donnell throws into the end zone and is batted down. Adrian Cooper, the tight end, was the intended receiver, and the big play is made by Natu Tuatagaloa. Tuatagaloa, a backup defensive end who went into the end zone to cover the tight end on the play. And that is alert play when a defensive lineman picks up a pass pattern and covers it.
It's by design that they have Tuatagaloa. His man is that offensive the tight end. But the ball just a little bit underthrown here because that's certainly a mismatch.
Yeah, if you throw it to the back line of the end zone, that's an easy TD.
Easy touchdown.
So a big defensive series for the valiant Seahawk defenders. All season long, they have held their own in the face of seemingly insurmountable obstacles. And Gelbaugh sneaks it out of the end zone on first down, and they will let the clock run free. So we get to halftime in Pittsburgh with the Seahawks blundering, but trailing only by 3 at 10-7 after another steadfast performance by the Seahawk defenders. Now let's join Bob Costas for the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report.
This is the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report, brought to you by Domino's. Nobody knows like Domino's how you like pizza at home.
Okay, as promised, Joe is here, so is O.J. We hear from them in just a moment, but first to the scoreboard. Buffalo has a halftime lead at home over the Jets, 10-3. Some highlights from this one at Rich Stadium. Buffalo 9-3, the Jets 3-9. This is the moment of silence just before the game, observed for the injured Jet defensive lineman Dennis Byrd. Then, on the first possession of the day for Buffalo, here's Thurman Thomas breaking off a 37-yard run down to the Jet 12-yard line. They weren't able to cash in for the touchdown. They did get a Steve Christie field goal out of it. Kenneth Davis later on caps a 14-play, 84-yard drive with his 6-yard run. Fumbled, but ruled a touchdown anyway because he had crossed the line, and that's the difference in the game at this point with Buffalo in front 10-3. Thurman Thomas, 9 carries for 73 yards rushing at the half. Philadelphia is in front at home against Minnesota, not yet to halftime. The Eagles 14 and the Vikings 10. Philly 7-5. Minnesota 9-3. Big first half rushing for Randall Cunningham. 7 carries, 71 yards, and a touchdown. The game you folks are watching, as described by Jim Lampley, Seahawks stumbling and bumbling a bit, but staying close with the Steelers, largely because they were able to pick Neil O'Donnell off on each of Pittsburgh's first 3 possessions. This is the second of those 3 interceptions. The free safety Eugene Robinson will do the honors, but the Seahawks weren't able to score on any of the ensuing possessions following the turnovers, and Bill Cowher was able to calm O'Donnell down, and O'Donnell came back and from the shotgun completed this touchdown pass to Ernie Mills. Mills picking his way through a series of tacklers after making the catch, puts them up 7-0. Following a Gary Anderson field goal of 38 yards, it'll be Stan Gelbaugh stepping up away from the rush and scrambling, throwing, and hitting Tommy Kane for the touchdown that brings them to within 10-7. We've got Barry Foster, by the way, 15 carries for 75 yards rushing at the half. He is, of course, the NFL's leading rusher. Cleveland and Cincinnati along the shores of Lake Erie, the Browns with the lead 13-7 in the Battle of Ohio. And even though they're just 6-6, Bernie Kosar and company have a crack at a wild card spot. They did it mostly on the ground on their first possession. This is the first play from scrimmage. Eric Metcalf sidestepping a tackler and then stutter-stepping his way to a 22-yard gain. 5 plays later, Kevin Mack was able to take it in from 7 yards out. That gave Cleveland an early 7-0 lead, which Matt Stover increased to 10-0 with a field goal, and he also hit one a bit later on. Sandwiched in between, it was David Klingler's first NFL touchdown pass, the rookie out of Houston hitting the veteran tight end Rodney Holman with the 26-yarder. It's 13-7 late in the second quarter in favor of the Browns. Green Bay is all over the Lions at Milwaukee's County Stadium. Brett Favre has thrown 3 touchdown passes in the first half. 2 of them have gone to Sterling Sharp, who is the NFL's leading receiver. In fact, if Sharp keeps up his present pace, he has a shot at breaking Art Monk's 1984 record for most receptions in a single season, which is 106. And they just handed me a note about Favre's totals in the first half. He is 11 for 12 for 180 yards and 3 touchdowns. Rodney Peete was ineffective. Andre Ware came off the Lion bench to replace him. He did throw a touchdown pass to Herman Moore, but actually on the first possession for Ware after he entered the game, he was hit by Matt Brock, fumbled, and Tony Bennett scooped it up and ran it in 18 yards for a touchdown. So that's the kind of day it's been for the 3-9 Lions, and the Packers look like they will win for the 4th time in a row. And Indianapolis on a pair of Dean Biasucci field goals, one from 30, the other from 48, leading 6-0 late in the second quarter at Foxborough. Joe, what about these Steelers and Seahawks? As we were watching it, you were saying this is dangerous for Pittsburgh.
It is dangerous. You remember last year the Seahawks beat the Steelers at home. Well, here you have an offense that can't score many points in the Seahawks, and Pittsburgh turns down the field goal and goes for the ball. Touchdown, 4th and 1. O'Donnell's off to the rocky start, no doubt. He misses the open receiver in the end zone, and so Seattle is still in the hunt. I would have taken the 3 points.
The danger of that is the longer you keep a team in the game, they begin to believe that they can win the game. We're seeing that happen with the Buffalo Jet game right now. Buffalo is letting the Jets stay in the game. We mentioned last week that the Bills will play up or down to their competition. They're playing down to the competition today. They tend to do that against teams in their divisions, teams that will play them twice. They're not intimidated by the no-huddle offense. And today they've let the Jets stay in this game. And much like last week when Indy came back to beat them, this Jet team could be fired up and come out the second half, and who knows what might happen.
They're going to have to change some of their defenses, though, because I saw Lonnie Young and free safety, the Jets trying to cover Andre Reed one-on-one, and that's not going to happen all day long.
Joe, quick thought on the performance of Brett Favre, who pretty much has pushed Don Mikowski out the door with the Packers.
You know, this tells me that system is sensational. Holmgren has brought into Green Bay from San Francisco. First of all, we saw Montana, then Young stand out, and then Steve Bono comes in last year, does a great job, and here we see Brett Favre just blossoming into a top-notch quarterback because of the system.
Time for us to step aside. Coming up, a message from the National Football League, a word from your local stations, and then when we come back, we'll turn things over to Tom Brokaw and the NBC News crew in Somalia.
He's Tom Flores of the Seattle Seahawks. In his 29 years in the NFL, he has won 4 Super Bowls. But throughout his career, he has never forgotten his roots.
Giving young people opportunities has always been important to me. That's why I've worked as a United Way volunteer throughout my NFL career, helping young people like these in Seattle's El Centro de la Raza program. I want to give courage, hope, and love to these young, beautiful people, to give them the same chances I had growing up. Here, they receive help so they can stay in school, and counseling so they can mature and make their contributions to a better community and a better world. When you give to the United Way, you're showing that you care about them. So now, They would like to thank you.
Gracias, Dad.
Yes, gracias. Thank you.
Your local United Way, helping where help is needed most.
This message furnished by the National Football League.
Tonight, a gator in a sewer, a rampaging elephant attacking birds, over Niagara Falls in a barrel, and a rescue at sea. An all-new eyewitness video, NBC Tonight.
From the director of Action Jackson, the producer of Love, Lies, and Murder, the author of Pale Rider, comes a motion picture experience. It's different, it's exciting, says TV Guide. Explosive, says Chicago Sun-Times. It delivers a full load of action, inspired by a father's search for his son's killer. Stacy Keach, Revenge on the Highway, NBC Tonight.
The advantages of Sundance from Chrysler Plymouth come shining through to sporty car buyers. They're just plain easy to see, outside and inside. And when they get around to the price, it's a real revelation, under $8,400. Sundance by Chrysler Plymouth. At your Chrysler Plymouth dealer, where real advantages make a real difference.
Top Copy wants to say something that may shock you. Don't buy a copier. Buy a copy for 2.5 cents. With your 2.5-cent copy, you'll also receive a Minolta high-productivity copier, which includes a recirculating document feeder, automatic two-sided copying, and 20-bin sorter. Included in your 2.5-cent copy, you also get toner, developer, service, everything you need to make a copy. So why buy a copier when you can get a copy for 2.5 cents? You can only get your 2.5-cent copies from Top Copy, the innovators in copier technology. Call for more information today.
Sweating Bullets, Sunday night at 11:30 on WBRE TV.
Welcome back. While we have a chance here, we'd like to bring you some news about the situation in Somalia. U.S. troops are part of a United Nations force that is being asked to restore order and deliver food and humanitarian aid. Tom Brokaw is in Somalia. He joins us now for this report. Tom?
Bob, as you can tell, it's after dark in Mogadishu. There's an 8-hour time difference between Somalia and New York City. And there's another encouraging sign here tonight. There's been very little random shooting. The Marines are expected here on early Tuesday morning, and they'll have their work cut out for them.
These are the people of Somalia. The U.S. forces are coming to help. The hungry, the starving, the sick. And these are the ragtag armies of Somalia, who are not expected to offer much, if any, resistance. But until the Marines arrive, they control the food, keeping this convoy at the docks for most of the day.
I very much hope that the American forces coming with all the equipment they've got, that they're going to be able to take on a major relief operation.
Today, there was an unexpected and welcome rain, perhaps an omen of a change of climate for this tortured land.
Bob, by day, Mogadishu is a thriving city, but by night, there's almost no power and no lights, and it is a very dangerous time here then. Now back to you in New York.
Tom, thank you. And, of course, Tom's reports will be seen from Somalia all this coming week on the NBC Nightly News. And our NFL Live halftime activities will continue following these messages. Please stay with us.
Tonight, one man with a power over women.
What do you want me to do?
A love cult with the love for counterfeit money, based on the actual case. An all-new Secret Service NBC Tonight.
They invited two strangers out of a storm.
Why don't you stay here tonight?
But one night in the same house together.
He's a lucky man, your husband. I hope he deserves you.
I think it's time they left.
Could be their last.
Get the hell out of here.
Why would I want to go and do that?
Emma Samms, Parker Stevenson, Shadow of a Stranger, NBC Monday.
You want a truck as tough and as good looking as you are? You want the #1 seller, Ford. Tough on the outside, comfortable on the inside. If you got more style than the next guy, move on up to a flare side. Ford backseats truck with a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty. Get cash back for a limited time. Hit the ground running at your local Ford dealer today.
Save $1,550 on the 93 F-150 XLT at your Quality Plus Ford dealer.
Murphy's funeral, it's the last laugh. On the next Murphy Brown.
At Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh, it is a 10-7 halftime lead for the Steelers. Jim Lampley with Ahmad Rashad on a day on which, because of the valiant Seahawk defense, and a rare long drive by the Seahawks offense. We had an interesting game at halftime, Ahmad.
We really have, and we have talked before that the Seahawks have never quit. Even though they've had a horrible season, they keep coming back playing extremely hard, and that's why they're still in this football game.
They showed that resiliency Monday night and coming back to beat Denver, and now they're in position to try to do the same thing today. It was a mistake-filled first quarter as Neil O'Donnell threw 3 interceptions for the Steelers. The Seahawks couldn't convert any of them into scores, and then Pittsburgh got on the board first with O'Donnell throwing a touchdown pass to Ernie Mills.
O'Donnell here looking the entire time trying to find Ernie Mills. Mills with a very nice catch and a very nice run after the catch that enables him to get into the end zone.
And then the Steelers added a Gary Anderson field goal and were up 10-0 and cruising. But on a 75-yard drive on which they converted 3 long third downs, Stan Gelbaugh and the Hawks got on the board with the pass to Tommy Kane.
Tommy Kane with an excellent job knowing his quarterback's in trouble, just bringing that route all the way across the other side of the field, and then Gelbaugh with the wherewithal to find Tommy Kane with a fine play for the Seahawks to get him back into the game.
And then the sequence that allows the Seahawks to feel heroic at halftime, they stopped Barry Foster 3 straight times at the 1, and on 4th and goal, that play by Natu Tuatagaloa.
Yeah, it was a play where they had the obvious mismatch there, but the ball was underthrown. If you throw the ball up towards the back of the end zone, you get an easy touchdown, and that just didn't happen.
And here is a look at halftime statistics in the football game. You see the turnovers on both sides. Time of possession heavily in the Steelers' favor, but the Seahawks had a big second quarter.
Pretty, as you look at those stats, they're pretty even all the way across the board. One of the things that the Seahawks had talked about defensively was holding Barry Foster to under 100 yards. There's only been one back in 11 games that's gained 100 yards against this Seahawks defense, and so far they have held Foster under 100, well, I guess in the first half.
Yeah, but he's on pace to get there with 75 yards and 20 carries, although in his last 5 carries, he has 0. Rod Woodson takes the second half kickoff from John Casey, the Seahawks, and Woodson has it back to the 30-yard line, a 16-yard return of a relatively short kickoff, and Neil O'Donnell and the Steelers will start in good field position at their own 30-yard line. Quarterback comparison for the 2 former Maryland Terrapin teammates. Gelbaugh getting more yardage on his 4 completions than O'Donnell managed on 8 completions in 14 attempts. O'Donnell, with a very slow start, 3 interceptions in his first 4 throws, has come on to heat up since then. On first down, Foster with the football, and Foster with about 3 yards. 33. It'll be second down, 7, number 59. Joe Kane was there to make the stop for the Seahawks.
And also in that area was Cortez Kennedy. He just pursues all the way across that line of scrimmage. Usually a nose tackle, a person that plays in the interior part of the line, usually only plays like, 8 yards, 6 yards one way, 6 yards the other way. But Cortez Kennedy is a guy that roams from sideline to sideline.
And if you're going to be fair to the Seahawks, you have to try to make Tasmania a national passion. The guy has had a spectacular year at defensive tackle despite his team's persistent misfortune. Second down, 7 yards to go. The play fake to Foster. O'Donnell out of the pocket will slide safely down at the 32-yard line. Cortez Kennedy was there to watch him do so. And there's no gain. It will be third down, 7.
I just talked about Cortez Kennedy playing from sideline to sideline, and he was the reason that O'Donnell took that slide. He either takes the slide or he takes the hit from Kennedy. You see Kennedy over in the right side. Here he comes all the way down the line of scrimmage. Usually big guys like that stop, but Cortez just still attacking that ball carrier.
The spot of the ball makes it a loss of 2. It will be third down, 9 now for the Steelers. We need to get the football to the 40-yard line to pick up a first down. Out of the shotgun, O'Donnell with time. And he overthrows, trying to hit Yancey Thigpen down the middle. Good coverage by the Seahawk defenders.
Anytime you see a quarterback in trouble, if you're a receiver, you need to run right back at the quarterback to try to help him out. And that's why you saw O'Donnell talking to his receiver saying, come back to me. Anytime I have a problem back here, you need to run back to the ball.
So now Mark Royals comes on for what I believe is only his second punt of the game. The first one was for 49. And Chris Warren, who does all sorts of work for the Seahawks in addition to being the star runner from scrimmage, takes it at the 27, gets out to the 35. A return of about 7 yards off the 43-yard punt. Warren Williams makes the stop for the Steelers, and it'll be Stan Gelbaugh and the Hawks from their own 35-yard line.
The Seahawks, you know what, even the last game that we did, the Seahawks still, they hang around in football games. You keep thinking if they come up with a couple of big plays, then they're right back in the game. They just haven't been able to make any big plays when they're in the position to make one to try to win a football game.
The much-traveled Gelbaugh engineered the comeback against Denver this past Monday night. And Warren gets the call on first down. The third-year running back out of Ferrum College in Virginia, dropped by Hardy Nickerson after a pickup of about 4. It'll be second down 6.
I told Chris Warren, you said, I never heard of Ferrum. He said, I didn't either until I went to school there. But you see here, he hits this pile. Everybody going forward. And Chris Warren is just a fine all-around football player. Does everything very well.
They credit him with a gain of 5, make it second down 5 with the ball at the 40-yard line. This time the fake to Warren. And the pass is in the flat to number 81, Tommy Kane. And Kane is dropped by D.J. Johnson, but a good throw from Gelbaugh. First down yardage on the pickup of 12, and they are into Steeler territory at the 49-yard line.
Gelbaugh is not your average third-string quarterback. When you talk to him, he has a lot of confidence. You see him sit right here in the office. He knows where he wants to throw this ball and delivers a strike to Tommy Kane. But he's not one of them. Usually in the third-string quarterback, the guy's real nervous and excited about playing and not knowing what he can do. Gelbaugh very comfortable in this offense.
On first down 10, Chris Warren on the sweep has a pickup of about 6 or 7 down near the 40-yard line before Woodson knocks him out of bounds.
You know, we talked about Gelbaugh being comfortable. Maybe one of the reasons why he's so comfortable is that he's been all the way to the bottom before. I mean, what else? I mean, what could shake a guy that's played in this many places? But 9 teams, 3 leagues, and 2 continents.
Experienced the height of his career as the star of the London Monarchs of the World League of American Football when they won the first World Bowl. And Larry Kinnan, as we mentioned before, offensive coordinator now for the Seahawks, was the head coach of Gelbaugh and his Monarch teammates at that time. Seattle with a potentially interesting quarterback decision to make in the offseason. Warren gets the ball and has first down yardage across the 30, out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Kenny Davidson makes the stop for the Steelers. 15-yard pickup for Warren, and the Hawks can now begin to think about trying to tie or perhaps go ahead in the football game.
Chris Warren, we talked about him doing everything very well. You'll see the strength and power of this running back as he just stiff arms Darren Perry right to the ground and continues on for extra yardage. He really is an excellent running back.
8 carries for 40 yards in the game for Chris Warren. Showing his stuff to fans of Barry Foster, the NFL's leading rusher. First down from the 25. Plenty of time for Gelbaugh down the middle, and number 89, Brian Blades, has the tough catch in front of D.J. Johnson near the 10-yard line. A 17-yard pickup. It will be first and goal for the Hawks.
When Tom Flores told us that the man that they missed most in this offense was Brian Blades, this is the reason why. Runs an excellent route, great possession catch. There's a lot of traffic in there, and you really got to have a lot of nerve and a lot of ability to come up with a catch like that. And Gelbaugh looking extremely comfortable in the pocket.
Well, he throws the ball with resolution down the middle, that's for sure. First down goal now. They mark it right at the 8-yard line. James Jones in motion. Now Warren running behind him. And it takes more than that to tackle Chris Warren. An arm tackle won't get it. He gets down to the 3-yard line before Carnell Lake forces him out of bounds.
We saw Chris Warren just stiff-arm Darren Perry a couple of plays earlier, but he will not just stiff-arm Carnell Lake, because Carnell Lake is an excellent tackler. Here's a guy who was a linebacker in college and one of the big hitters in the National Football League. You can't just stiff-arm him.
You'd have to look far and wide to find another guy who was a linebacker in college converted to a defensive back in the NFL
without missing a beat.
Doesn't happen very often. Second down goal from the 3-yard line after the 5-yard pickup by Warren on first down. Warren this time tries to get outside, and Rod Woodson, one of the most physical cornerbacks in football, makes the play to knock him out of bounds.
Certainly a fine play by Rod Woodson. And I think you hit it right on the head when you talk about, and then Carnell Lake comes up to finish it off. you watch his play get stretched out. You see Chris Warren trying to take it outside. Now watch number 37 come up and help on the tackle. That's just great pursuit by the Pittsburgh Steelers defensive secondary.
Third down, goal from the 3-yard line. One of those iffy calls for the offensive coordinator. Gelbaugh not a rollout type. He comes to scrimmage. They fake the run, and Gelbaugh makes a perfect throw to John L. Williams, and the Seahawks have the lead. Darren Perry, the free safety, was the man assigned to John L., and he just gave him too much room, and Gelbaugh threw a strike.
At this point, when you get down inside the 5-yard line, it's all about execution. Here's a great play fake by Gelbaugh, who halfway rolls out, and then just fires it right away to John L. Williams. It's one of those plays where you open quick, and that's when you got to get the ball, and that was a great execution of that play by the Seattle Seahawks.
Seahawks do not have a lot of quick developing offensive plays, but that one worked perfectly because of Gelbaugh's quick decision and throw. Casey add the extra point and stretch the Seattle lead to 14-10. So the Seahawks find themselves in the rare position of being ahead of a contending team. 8:51 in the third.
The last thing the average person wants is the average car. That's why the new Mazda brought you the return of the pure sports car, the all-new RX-7, and the return of the Roadster in the Auto. That's why our 626 feels personal, and our MX-6 feels timeless. It's why every Mazda will fulfill its promise in a way no other car can.
Wouldn't it be great if you could afford a luxurious mansion? For you and all your friends? Of course, the place needed some updates, like a bowling alley and a pool table. Naturally, you'd have an open house. Food, dear! With beer! Harold, do something! Icy, cold-filtered Keystone, Keystone Light, and Keystone Dry. Bottle beer cased in a can. Now, wouldn't that be great?
Why did Hertz invent #1 Club Gold service? To beat the rush hour. See, every plane and everybody seems to land at once. But with Gold service, there's no stopping at the counters and no paperwork. Instead, you go nonstop to your waiting car with your name in lights. Only Hertz has #1 Club Gold. The best reason yet why Hertz beats the rush hour. To Hertz, the rest of the day is a piece of cake.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Hertz #1 Club Gold, Hertz's fastest service, now in more locations coast to coast. By Keystone, Keystone Light and Keystone Dry. Bottled beer taste in a can. Wouldn't that be great? By Sony, where imagination and innovation create the ultimate in auto sound. And by Mazda. Mazda, it just feels right.
Bring it back to Three Rivers Stadium. 8 minutes, 51 seconds to go in the third quarter. And after the second long sustained scoring drive of the day for the Seahawks and Stan Gelbaugh, Seattle leads Pittsburgh 14-10. The Steeler defense had given up fewer touchdowns than any other defense in the league coming into the game, and Seattle, the league's weakest offense, has twice penetrated it now for long scoring drives. This is Leroy Thompson getting a rare chance to run back and kick off from the central return position, and he gets across the 30 to the 32-yard line. Patrick Hunter knocked him out of bounds on the relatively short floating kick by John Casey, and there are flags down on the field.
Quite interesting that Rod Woodson was not back on that kickoff return, seeing that he...
We have unnecessary roughness against number 58 after the play was over, grabbing the face mask. It'll be 15 yards from the end of the run, first down.
Rod Woodson is well. He is walking along the sideline, but he certainly was not in there on that last kickoff return.
Yeah, very interesting as they find themselves behind 14-10, and neither Woodson nor Dwight Stone, who would normally be the alternate choice, was back there to run back the kickoff. Instead, it was Leroy Thompson. But now, the Steelers get the football at the 48-yard line after Thompson's good return, and the 15-yard personal foul against reserve linebacker Greg Clark of Seattle. So first down from the 48 for O'Donnell and the Bucs. And Merrill Hodge has the catch. Coming out of the backfield, Robert Blackman there to knock him out of bounds.
I've always liked Merrill Hodge. I've always thought he's a very good all-around back, too. I mean, he really has great hands coming out of the backfield, good blocker, good runner, just an excellent all-around football player.
Well, 2 years ago, it appeared that Merrill Hodge and Tim Worley would be the heart of the Steeler running game for some time to come. But that was before the emergence of Barry Foster as the running force. Now Hodge has become primarily a blocker/receiver. Foster on 2nd down 5 has first down yardage near the Seattle 40-yard line. Gain of about 7 yards. And the Steelers will have first down, and we go to New York for an update with Bob Costas.
All right, Jim, in Pittsburgh, the game you're doing, Pittsburgh favored by about 2 touchdowns and Seattle with the lead. In Buffalo, the Bills a 17-point favorite over the Jets. But after the Brad Baxter touchdown from a yard out that you just saw, the game is tied at 10 in the third. Back to Jim and Ahmad.
All right, thanks, Bob. So the two teams angling for a home field advantage in the AFC playoffs, Pittsburgh and Buffalo, both suffering at the moment. Blitz on O'Donnell, good throw. Out in the flat, Adrian Cooper, the tight end, makes the catch. Eugene Robinson, the tackle, a 9-yard gain for the Steelers on what looked as though it was going to be a loss. Flag down.
It appears that there's a holding penalty. We'll find out.
Holding, offense, number 77, 10 yards, repeat first down.
I talked to Bill Cowher yesterday about warning, and it brings it up now because if you see Buffalo struggling and also Pittsburgh struggling, these are the toughest kinds of games that teams that are in contention have to play because naturally, the Steelers know that Seattle has only won one game during the season, and it's sort of a situation where you're going to have a natural letdown. And you can't do that because Seattle coming in here, they would really like to hang their hats on a victory over the Pittsburgh Steelers. If they have anything to look back on, beating the Steelers would be a major high point of their season. Same with the Jets and Buffalo.
After the holding penalty, it's 1st and 20 from the 49-yard line. Hasselwood was the man called for the penalty. Foster has the catch on the screen pass, but can't get past Rufus Porter, number 97, who ranks along with Cortez Kennedy as one of the 2 keystones on the Seattle defense, and Porter made another big play in the flat.
Great play by Porter. Watch him fight off this block. You'll see Porter, number 97. Here's a little screen play. Now, see, he's got a man blocking him, but he's fighting. He's actually getting held, but he still hangs in there and makes that tackle.
That was Duval Love, who was trying to eliminate Porter from the play and simply couldn't do so. Second down now, 17 yards to go after the pickup of 3 on the pass to Foster. O'Donnell this time with time, but now he's going to go down in the arms of Joe Nash, the 11-year veteran out of Boston College, who has hung in over the years for the Seattle defense, along with Jeff Bryant, who lines up next to him.
You see O'Donnell here, and Jeff Bryant is getting a nice push on the outside. Here comes Joe Nash to put the pressure on O'Donnell, and now as he tries to break out of here and still get rid of the ball, it appears that he comes down on an ankle or something and twisted a little bit as we see him now being attended to out the middle of the field. That is
injury
O'Donnell
timeout on the field as O'Donnell was limping around, and Bubby Brister hurriedly gets up to warm up. So we will check to see what's wrong with Neil O'Donnell. We got 6:13 to go in the third quarter. Seattle's on top in Pittsburgh.
Sony introduces the new standard in television. Trinitron XDR squared.
Hey, look! The Grand Canyon!
It'll change the way you feel about everything you see. From Sony.
Although most human beings instinctively join herds, there are those who simply don't look for safety in numbers. For this rare breed, we introduced the '93 Mazda 626EX with a V6, an airbag, and ABS. Designed by the new Mazda, a company known for doing things differently. For drivers who feel the same way. The all-new Mazda 626.
There's only one thing they're into as much as Domino's Pizza. Now, order Domino's and get your Domino's $25 million Nintendo Instant Win Game card with a chance to win thousands of free Super NES, Game Boy systems, Super Mario Kart games, plus savings on pizza and Coke Classic. Call Domino's. You can win Nintendo stuff. Wow! And try our new Domino's Twisty Bread, free with our unlimited topping medium, just $9.99.
O'Donnell, who was down on the ground for a few moments just recently, maybe it appeared that he got a problem with the back of his legs on that last tackle. Joe Nash was sacking him on the play, and just right as they go down, it looks like he might either get kicked or twisted up a little bit right there on the back of that right ankle as he goes down. He was attended to, he was brought off the field, and Bubby Brister is now into the game.
So Brister comes in on 3rd down, 20 yards to go. With the ball at the Steeler 49, they need to get it to the 31-yard line of the Seahawks to pick up a first down. Bubby will operate out of the shotgun. He's had a lot of experience. Former starter, lost the starting job in preseason to O'Donnell. Brister throws to Dwight Stone in the flat, flags down behind the line of scrimmage. Stone looking to get to the first down chain, almost makes it. He's knocked out of bounds about a yard short. That would make it 4th and 1, but the flag is in a position which would seem to indicate holding against the Steelers, and it is.
Dedrick Dodge on a nice play down the field kept Stone from making that first down, but all for naught as we have this penalty.
Holding.
You got a hurt player
Number
for the
67
Seahawks.
offense, 10 yards, repeat 3rd down.
Rough day for Duval Love.
Rough day for anybody who has to block Cortez Kennedy. As you see, 67, Duval Love just grabbed Cortez right there at the line of scrimmage. Still got a hold of him, and here comes the flag. Sometimes when you're trying to protect your quarterback and you know that the guy in front of you is about to go by you, the only thing you can do is hold him.
And the downed hawk at the Seattle 23-yard line is veteran Nesby Glasgow, who was in for the 6th defensive back package for Seattle, and now walks off the field with the help of Seattle trainers. Neil O'Donnell, who recovered very rapidly from a hamstring injury, thought to be a serious hamstring pull. It only kept him out of action 1 week. Now we'll see if he can recover from having been kicked in the shin, according to the folks along the Steelers sideline, and come back into the game. Steelers trail 14-10 against the Seahawks. 5:38 to go in the 3rd. Bubby Brister brings them out on what is now 3rd down, 30 yards to go from the Steeler 39. Leroy Thompson in the game is a setback behind Brister, or with Brister in the shotgun. And Bubby throws to Leroy Thompson on the screen pass. And Thompson will have some yardage into Seattle territory, but he's knocked down at the 47-yard line, well short of the first down. And while the drama continues to develop here, we go back to New York for another update with Bob.
And the drama continuing to develop at Rich Stadium, Jim. Brad Baxter having a huge day, scores on a 9-yard run. He's got 92 yards rushing at this point. The Jets scoring the go-ahead touchdown after they recovered a Kenneth Davis fumble in Buffalo territory. The Bills, a 17-point favorite a week ago at Indianapolis, lose in OT. Favored by 17 today, losing 17-10 to the Jets in the 3rd. Jim?
And Royals' punt for the Steelers here goes into the end zone. So rather than to be pinned deep in their territory, the Seahawks will get to come out to the 20 after the 47-yard Mark Royals punt. Seattle leads 14-10. Stan Gelbar and company with the ball when we come back.
Why can't van doors swing open instead of slide? Why do minivans handle like trucks? Why can't they feel more like a car? This is what the engineers at Mazda wondered when they designed the MPV. Because when you ask better questions, you tend to come up with better answers.
Why does your door do that?
The MPV from the new Mazda.
It just feels right.
place. It puts the wind in your sails.
When regular drills hold you back, send in the Ranger cordless drill from Black & Decker. It goes anywhere to handle all the tough jobs. No strings attached. The Ranger cordless drill, a powerful gift idea from Black & Decker.
Going down, that ain't you. No, that's not you. Easy drinking beer, that silver bullet smooth.
Know where it's coming from, setting the mood, the pure taste of the Rockies and silver bullet smooth.
Make the move good light, silver bullet smooth.
The Broncos. The Bills. Last season when they met in the AFC Championship game, Denver gave Buffalo all they could handle but came up short. Now in the midst of the playoff race, the Broncos need this one bad when they meet again on a special Saturday edition of the NFL on NBC next Saturday.
There you see Neil O'Donnell heading to the locker room. They're going to take x-rays on his right leg, but they still are a pretty good situation because with a backup like Bubby Brister, they're in good shape in terms of quarterback.
First down from the 20-yard line for the Seahawks. Play fake from Gelbaugh. John L. Williams behind the screen. Good yardage across the 30 to the 31. A first down for the Seahawks before Aaron Jones made the stop for the Steelers. D.J. Johnson also there on the tackle. Interesting quarterback situation for Seattle, Ahmad. They got a first-round draft choice invested in Kelly Stauffer via trade to get him from Phoenix. Another first-round draft choice invested in Dan McGuire, out for the year after having been injured. Gelbaugh is a plan B. They've got virtually nothing invested in him, but he seems to move the team better than either of the other two.
He certainly does, but what kind of a situation would they had they kept David Craig?
Chris Warren with the football is dropped for no gain by Donald Evans. And leaving aside Craig, who's gone to Kansas City, if there's a draft, and if the Seahawks pick number 1 in the draft, what about Washington State quarterback Drew Bledsoe, regarded by many scouts as the best prospect in the draft?
Then they have 3 quarterbacks that have very little playing time in the National Football League besides Gelbaugh. So Gelbaugh looks like he's still the one.
Well, he's certainly the one today. He has engineered 2 long touchdown drives, which are season-long rarities for the Hawks. Second down 10. Again to John L. Williams, and again Williams has first down yardage. Fumble, inbounds. Williams maintained possession. Seahawks get close to midfield at the 48-yard line. David Williams was the man who finally made the stop on John L. Williams. No mystery to what the Seahawks are doing. They're just blocking it pretty well over here.
You got to go with your strengths, and the strengths on this football team is John L. Williams and Chris Warren. And you see the Steelers still doing a great job of trying to strip the ball out, and that one there almost recovered by the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Donald Evans had a shot at the football, but John L. Williams was quick enough to get it back. First down and 10. Chris Warren with the ball, and he's met and dropped. David Little was there, along with Hardy Nickerson, to make the stop from inside linebacker posts for the Steelers.
You look at this Seattle offensive team, they do have a couple of real quality players on that offense, and especially in their 2 running back positions. Those 2 guys are probably as strong as any other tandem in the National Football League. So those are the guys that you got to go to when the game's on the line and you're trying to win a football game. You got to go with your strength, and your strength are the 2 backs lining up behind the quarterback.
And of course, with Brian Blades back from injury, they are much more dangerous downfield than they had been through most of the season. Number 88, Rob Thomas in motion. Gelbaugh throws on second down, in and out of the hands of John L. Williams. He had a couple of drops today, but they are rare over the course of the season. Greg Lloyd was the man there to cover, and it will be third down 10 now with the ball at the 47-yard line, and Larry Kinnan calling signals for Gelbaugh.
And there's Greg Lloyd, who we mentioned is having a great season, but he's in a tough position right here. He's got to play the tight end and then fall off and play the running back. And just John L. Williams just not able to keep his feet up underneath him and not able to come up with the ball. But Gelbaugh being very active accurate in this football game.
Seahawks have been surprisingly effective on third down today. 4 of 8, all 4 of them long ones. Gelbaugh throws down the middle and it's batted down by Rod Woodson. So they won't convert that one. And the Seahawks punting team with Rick Tootin will come onto the field after a rare, lengthy absence from action for Tootin, who hasn't booted one since early in the second quarter.
Seattle dodged the bullet on that last one. That ball should have been intercepted, especially if it got by the hands of Rod Woodson, who is an excellent receiver, has excellent hands. That maybe should have been an interception.
Woodson has 3 interceptions on the year. He'd probably tell you now he should have at least 5. He dropped one last week as well. Tootin gets away a high floating kick. Woodson does not fair catch it, but rather wants to run it back, and he's across the 20 to the 24-yard line. A hesitant choice, but ultimately a good one for Woodson, who got 8 yards on a return off the 42-yard Tootin kick. It'll be Steeler ball, 1:45 to go in the third. They trail 14-10 when we return.
While the fluid styling of the Mazda 929 may be timeless, the 929 personal lease offer is considerably shorter. Because now you can lease the 929, complete with dual airbags, anti-lock brakes, and European leather, for just $349 per month. So see your Mazda dealer today. Like all good things, this offer must soon come to an end.
My husband, Elliot, he's an inventor. He's made a very good life for both of us. Last year, this big company paid a lot of money for one of his ideas. Elliot even thought about opening his own company, but in the end, we decided to invest the money. Besides, I'm not sure Elliot's cut out to work in an office anyway.
Ask your financial advisor about Nuveen tax-free investments, or simply call this number.
America's first Napa Auto Parts.
At Napa, you'll always find top-quality parts at a fair price. Plus, great holiday gift ideas for under $20. Like Napa's heavy-duty mechanics creeper, just $9.95. The Napa 6-piece combination screwdriver set, only $13.95. And Napa's 20-inch toolbox with 3-compartment tray, just $19.95. Save on great gifts for under $20. At Napa, America's first choice.
Wednesday, he murdered 2 people. Now a legal loophole could set him free to kill again. A chilling new Law & Order, NBC Wednesday.
A good sign for the Pittsburgh Steelers, as you see Neil O'Donnell, who has come back from the locker room, and appears that he may be ready to play. He's walking around okay over there, so he may be available.
He was lobbying to go back in, but for the moment it is still Brister. As the Steelers begin 1st and 10 from the 24-yard line, Barry Foster, who's had a slow third quarter, gets started here with a gain of 5. It'll be 2nd down 5 as Foster pushes it out near the 30. Eugene Robinson and Patrick Hunter making the stop.
You have the feeling that now that the Steelers are going to go into overdrive here. Here's a chance for them to try to take control of this game, get their running a game going, work the clock, get the ball into the end zone. Now we'll see what this Steeler team is really made of in this situation.
Steelers need a long drive and a lot of Barry Foster. He's gunning for his 10th 100-yard rushing game of the year. The record in the NFL is 12, set by Eric Dickerson back in 1984. It's Foster again, and this time he has 1st down yardage near the 35-yard line. Tony Woods made the stop for the Seahawks. And Barry Foster, before that carry, had a total of 91 yards in the game. Now, with the pickup of 3 more, he gets it to 94. 6 yards away from his 10th 100-yard rushing game of the year.
He has certainly taken it all in stride. I asked him yesterday about how he felt about breaking Franco Harris's record. He was going, yeah, it's the record. He's just enjoying this season.
Catches the pass in the flat here, but can't get away from Rufus Porter. And he might have been better off letting that one sail by as the Steelers wind up with a loss of about 4 back to the 30-yard line.
Neil O'Donnell, who went into the locker room to get an x-ray, will now wait until they see the results of that x-ray before they make a decision on whether or not he'll go back into the game.
And if he plays, it'll be in the fourth quarter because period number 3 has come to a close. We'll be right back after these messages from your local. Well, it's that kind of a year in the National Football League. The Steelers sweep the Oilers, who were heavily favored to control the AFC Central Division. Now they find themselves in trouble against the lowly 2-10 Seahawks at home. Bubby Brister on second down, 14 yards to go. Throws a wobbly ball, which falls to the ground aimlessly and harmlessly, and it'll be third down long. It was Barry Foster who was the intended receiver on the play.
You find out a lot about your team in a situation like this. If you're talking playoffs, you're talking about home field advantage, you get a chance to show just how good of a football team you are in this particular situation. Even though they trail by 4 points, they still have a chance to control the game. Now, if you're the team that you say you are, take the ball, drive it down the field, win the football game. They don't seem to have panicked at this point, but they certainly haven't done anything exciting in the last couple of times they've had the ball.
Third down 14, whistles blow before the snap, and there will be a penalty. Steelers are 3 of 9 on third downs.
Bill Cowher, yesterday I asked him.
False start prior to the snap on the right side of the line on the offense.
I asked him how tough
5 yards, still third down.
Playing against a team like the Seahawks that came in here with nothing to lose. He said he realized that, you know, there was a situation where they could have a letdown or really look past this team, but they've been very good at focusing all year, and he felt like they'd be able to focus again today. He said one of the reasons they've been able to focus is there's been a newspaper strike in town, and a lot of times the players haven't had a chance to read about all the things that have been going on.
If they lose this one, they'll be happy there's a newspaper strike. As they make it tougher, going from 3rd and 14 to 3rd and 19 on the illegal procedure call. Brister runs out of the pocket and throws it to number 41, Eugene Robinson. Robinson has his second interception of the day and is inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. Ernie Mills was the intended receiver. The pass was nowhere near him, and on the sloppy throw by Brister, the Hawks have another scoring opportunity.
Well, Eugene Robinson has had a couple of gifts today. One ball overthrown right into his arms. You see him playing just center field right there. Watch, this ball comes right to him. Right to just an easy catch, pitch and catch, except to the wrong guy. Seattle with a chance to really make some noise here. They can do something offensively at this point.
That's like playing center field and having the hitter played perfectly. Robinson never moved from his stationary position, and Brister threw it right to him. 1st and 10 for Gelbaugh and the Seahawks at the Pittsburgh 29. Chance for Seattle to really put the pressure on the AFC Central leading Pittsburgh Steelers. John L. Williams on the catch on 1st down. Darren Perry runs him out of bounds, but it's a pickup of about 5. It'll be 2nd down 5 with the ball inside the 20 at the 19-yard line.
Yeah, if the Seahawks can get a touchdown here, it puts so much pressure on the Steelers because they aren't a real big play kind of offense. They're a ball control type offense.
All 4 Pittsburgh turnovers are interceptions by the Seahawks secondary. On 2nd down 5, Chris Warren has no running room against the left side of the steel curtain. Aaron Jones there to make the stop. Andy Heck and Derek Brills expressing their dissatisfaction with number 98, Gerald Williams of the Steelers.
Gerald Williams is one of the Steelers that turned that play in. Just a pretty good play there by Gerald Williams, number 98.
5 defensive backs in the game now for Pittsburgh. It is 3rd down, 7 yards to go. They need to get the football inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. Gelbaugh takes the snap just outside the 20. And Gelbaugh throws wide at the intended receiver, number 89, Brian Blades. Woodson on the coverage, but I think Gelbaugh had a chance to move the chains and pick up the 1st down if he could have thrown a strike.
A little bit threw the ball outside. That's one of those plays where you run down and kind of bump the guy and just kind of turn around and hope the ball is right to you. Not a real route, but you go down the field of the defender, just turn around. The ball just not on target. And speaking of on target, Casey has not been on target.
That's right. Bertman backs on Casey. Now he'll try a 38-yarder, having missed from 44 and from 40.
Newton is the holder. Gets it down. And Casey misses for the third time today. It was a chance for the Seahawks to stretch the lead to 17-10. And Tom Flores has seen it all.
And Bill Cowher is glad to see that one.
Facial contortionist Bill Cowher and the Steelers still trailing.
Hi, Super Dave Osborne here with Hager wrinkle-free cotton pants. They look great right out of the dryer with no ironing, but Hager's asked me to put them to the ultimate test. I'll wear these pants through high-pressure jets, brushes, and dryers at 3 miles per hour. Ready? Oh, we're out of time.
Tom Cruise, Jack Nicholson, Demi Moore, a Rob Reiner film, A Few Good Men, rated R, at theaters Friday.
He's back. This time we get him. STP gas treatment. Cleans intake valves and fuel injectors to help engines run better. STP, the edge.
No better way to face the day.
It's another non-stop day, so start out with Speed Stick, the wide stick. It's long-lasting protection against wetness and odor. It's 110% protection that helps you feel cool and confident all day. That's why more men face their day with Speed Stick.
No better way to face the day. No better way to face the day.
Speed Stick, 110% protection.
When your sinuses are closing in on you, what you need is a sinus spray like Sinex. Only Sinex adds Vicks Vapors to its decongestant, so at last you can feel your sinuses open up. For sinus, think Sinex.
In Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh, the Steelers trailed the Seahawks 14-10 with 13:20 to go in the game. The Steelers angling along with the Bills for a home field advantage in the AFC playoffs. On first down, after the missed field goal by John Casey, Barry Foster gets a gain of 6 yards. It will be second down 4. Joe Nash made the stop for the Seahawks. Coming into today, the Steelers were talking about potentially clinching the AFC Central if they could win this game and get a little help from the Bears against the Oilers. And now you see that Buffalo has come back to tie the Jets at 17 apiece in the fourth. Brister, wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage, throws the ball to the ground in front of Barry Foster. It will be third down 4. Brister still in the game. Neil O'Donnell went out in the third period after having been hit by Joe Nash as they tumbled to the ground.
Bubby Brister here trying to find the receiver in Seattle, continuing to put the pressure. Joe Kane comes in there and wraps up Brister just as he lets the ball go. But you have two teams here playing for two different reasons. One team trying to acquire the home field advantage throughout the playoffs, and the other team, the Seahawks, playing for the pride of it.
On third and 4, Brister throws down the middle and again has a wide-open Seahawks safety. It's number 33, Dedrick Dodge, with the football, and Dodge is knocked down at the 33-yard line. And for the 5th time today, the Seahawks have an interception. For the 4th time, it puts them in scoring position, and we'll see if they can capitalize. Jeff Graham was the intended receiver.
Bubby Brister here looking for Jeff Graham, and he lets this ball go. Now, as Graham gets ready to try to make a play, he slips. And the ball goes right over his head, right to Dedrick Dodge.
So it will be Seattle football at the 33-yard line of Pittsburgh. They lead 14-10 with 12:31 to go.
You look like an angel, walk like an angel, talk like an angel, but I got wise. You're the devil in disguise, oh yes you are, the devil in disguise.
Just when you thought you knew everything about Volvo.
Devil in disguise, oh yes you are, the devil in disguise.
Here it comes. Domino's $25 million Nintendo Instant Win Game Card with a chance to win thousands of free Nintendo prizes, plus savings on pizza and Coke Classic. And try Domino's new Twisty Bread free with our unlimited topping medium, just $9.99.
The Black & Decker Workmate.
About all it can't help you do is clean up. But at least it gets out of your way, and it's a powerful gift idea.
A kiss? No, I'm sorry. I don't think so.
Oh, no, please, no, baby, no.
Oh, not a good idea. Not now.
No, bad time.
Fight morning breath with Scope. Scope has 2 powerful ingredients that kill 90% of the bacteria that cause morning breath.
Your kiss is ready. Pucker up.
Right on the kisser.
Come on.
Kiss morning breath goodbye with Scope.
Give me that kiss.
As we bring you back to Three Rivers Stadium, the Pittsburgh Steelers and offensive coordinator Ron Earhart continued to rue the mistakes of their quarterbacks. Neil O'Donnell, who threw 3 early interceptions, out with an injury now. Bubby Brister has replaced him with 2 interceptions of his own. Gelbaugh's pass on first down is batted down and falls incomplete, but flags are down. And it's yet another holding call for Tom Flores to catalog in his book of miseries for 1992.
Holding, number 82 offense, 10 yards, repeat first down.
Book, he's got starting a wing of a library at this point. It has just been a disastrous season for Tom Flores.
Tight end Ron Heller, number 82.
Ron Heller just getting powered back and used his legs and his hands.
So it is second down, or check it, first down 20 now from the 43-yard line. Gelbaugh gives to Chris Warren, or to John L. Williams, I should say. And Williams is dropped by Greg Lloyd, number 95, who was in the backfield again, as he has been several times today. And it will be second and more than 20 now.
And the Steelers get some bad news for Neil O'Donnell. They found that he has a cracked fibula of the right leg. He will not return to the game. And at the beginning of the game, that's what we talked about. They have been so lucky not having any injuries. Now all of a sudden they get one to their starting quarterback.
So the cracked shin bone knocks O'Donnell out of the game. And the Steelers will have to go the rest of the way with a Bubby Brister at quarterback who has been shaky at best. Gelbaugh on second and long throws deep. And the receiver, Tommy Kane, gets away with a push but can't get near the football. Pretty good job of pushing down D.J. Johnson, the cornerback, though.
They let him just a little pushing and shoving down here at the end, but you see Johnson's not playing the ball at all. And almost a little holding. But that's a good call by the referee. You let him go ahead and battle for that ball downfield.
Particularly since it's about to land 8 yards away from them. Third down now, 21 yards to go for the Seahawks. 5 times they have picked off Steeler quarterbacks' passes, and in the 4 previous occasions, they could not capitalize on the scoreboard. 3 missed field goals by John Casey. Let's see if they can get close enough to try another one. John L. Williams is met and dropped, and a brilliant open field tackle by D.J. Johnson keeps the Seahawks out of field goal range.
Yeah, D.J. Johnson, almost like he had a magnet in his helmet the way he latched on to John L. Williams. You watch this. The toughest tackle in football is one in the open field. Here you see John L. gets the ball, gets a chance to turn, and D.J. makes a great stop right there. And not only a great tackle, but as you said, Jim, takes him out of field goal range.
Yeah, John L. Williams has burned a lot of corners on that play over the years, but D.J. Johnson made a safe, secure stoppage. So Rod Woodson will go back to receive the punt at his 10-yard line. And once again, the potential scoring threat coming off the turnover for Seattle fails to materialize into anything on the scoreboard. And now the delay of game penalty against the Seahawks, who want to get 5 more yards of breathing space between themselves and the Pittsburgh end zone before Tootin puts the foot to the ball.
That way they get a chance. They get a chance to try to get some air up underneath the ball, to kick it high up in the air so that the coverage can get down and make a coverage on it. If you're too close to the goal line and you try to kick one that really doesn't get high up in the air, you run the risk of Woodson catching it on the fly and running it all the way back.
But Cowher and the Steelers won't go along with them. They decline the penalty, forcing Seattle to kick from exactly this spot. So, with slightly cramped circumstances from the 39, Tootin tries to boot it lazily up and lay it in between the 10-yard line and the goal line, and he can't do it. Kicks it into the end zone, and the Steelers will have the football at the 20. When Bubby Brister prepares to try to bring them from behind 14-10 with 10.5 minutes to go.
And you'll find...
September 1957. Road and track on the Volvo 444. With a car like this, who needs a sports car? October 1992. History repeats itself.
Everybody used to come in and say, you know, the R in your sign is backwards. Kids play with the same toys everywhere. People in Japan are no different than the people in the United States, no different than the people in Canada. They want things for their children, and the lower the price, the more they'll buy. I buy the majority of my purchases with the American Express card. It's simpler for me, period.
American Express is welcome to Toys R Us and other fun spots.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Domino's. Call Domino's Pizza now and you'll be enjoying free Twisty Bread with our unlimited toppings pizza deal when the game is over.
In Pittsburgh, I'm Jim Lampley along with Ahmad Rashad. 10.5 minutes to go on the clock. The Pittsburgh Steelers have played sloppily on offense through most of the day and find themselves trailing the Seattle Seahawks. They've won only 2 games all year, 14-10. Bubby Brister in the game for Neil O'Donnell, who's out with a cracked shin bone, and the pass to Adrian Cooper is incomplete as Robert Blackman makes the physical play from his strong safety position.
Bubby Brister, one of the quarterbacks in the National Football League, that's pretty good once he comes out on the rollout because he's a pretty good runner. Has excellent speed, excellent size. Just that ball was thrown a little bit behind the intended receiver, and a tough ball to catch when it's behind you and you're running towards the sideline.
He started 54 games at quarterback for the Steelers, and they have won 27, and they have lost 27. Now he is a backup to O'Donnell. On 2nd down 10, Brister runs out of trouble and throws into the hands of Barry Foster, who makes a tough catch between defenders. Rufus Porter and Rod Stevens there with him, and it all turns out to be a 3-yard gain for the Steelers.
Well, that was a tough throw by Brister, running to his left, throwing back to his right. He had a lot of steam on that ball, too. Watch him running to the left, and he throws the ball back. That's a tough thing to do right there. You can...
Look at the speed of Cortez Kennedy.
Yeah, that's
He's just incredible, Ahmad.
And he pursues all over the field. That's a defensive tackle there. The defensive tackles do not chase quarterback to the sideline.
That's maybe the widest defensive tackle in the league, and maybe the fastest as well.
Yeah.
On 3rd down 7, the pass over the middle is caught by Jeff Graham. Tough catch, big play, 1st down for the Steelers. Blackman on the stop.
That ball was put right where it needed to be, and a big league catch by Jeff Graham. This is the one you got to come up with. We need the 1st down. We got to have it. He makes the catch. Fine throw, fine catch. Once again, Brister, it's just, you only have just a little teeny place to put that ball. Brister puts it right there.
While Tez was wasting a blocker in front of Brister.
Tez wastes a lot of people. He's just incredible. He could have his own highlight film.
I'd like to produce it. On 1st down 10, whistles blow and flags fly before the Steelers can get the play underway.
A direct result of Cortez Kennedy being so strong in the middle. If we watch this, he causes so much havoc in the middle of the line.
False start prior to snap. Number 63, 5 yards, still 1st down.
You'll see Dermontti Dawson just snapped the ball a little bit too early. Snapped it halfway back. You see right here. There it comes back. No, waits on 2, and he went to snap it on 1.
He wanted to get a look at Cortez.
Wanted to find out where Cortez is. That's the kind of pressure that causes those kinds of mental errors when you got a guy right in front of you that you know is coming all day.
We saw it against Denver Monday night. Exactly the same thing. 1st and 15 for the Steelers in Bristol. And that throw, wobbly, batted down, intended for Graham, and it was out there like a wounded duck just waiting to be picked off.
This Seattle defense playing very strong. A lot of Seattle defenders around that receiver also. Not a clear picture for Bubby Brister to back up and look straight down the field and find an open receiver. The Seattle defense playing hard as they have all year long.
Correction, 2nd down, 15.
Woe be to the team that tries to clinch a division, even at home, against a team as hungry and with as little to lose as the Seattle Seahawks. And Barry Foster on 2nd down and long. Carries for a few. Foster is over 100 yards for the day now. 26 carries, 104 yards. And Barry Foster has his 10th 100-yard rushing game of the season. But this game's going to come back.
Offense, number 73, 10 yards, repeat 2nd down.
Justin Strelsick gets the call this time.
You have got to give Tom Flores a lot of credit to keep this football team together and keep these guys playing as hard as they're playing. I've been on teams that have lost a lot of games, and it is really hard to go to work. And Flores has these guys playing as hard as they can play every single down. A lot of times at this point in the season, you have coaches that are just playing people to see if they want to play. But he said he's played everybody. The people that can play are playing, and to his credit, he still has them playing very hard.
They've been open to anything as the season has gone on. The injury list got so huge at one point that they were literally calling around the league on a daily basis. Do you have anybody available? Brister on 2nd and very long, runs out of the pocket, and Joe Kane will chase him out of bounds at the 27-yard line. They need to get the ball to the 44 for a 1st down, so it's going to be 3rd down, 17 yards to go now for Earhart, the offensive coordinator, and Brister, the backup QB.
This is not what this offense does best. Playing in these sort of situations, when you're a ball control offense, you're always trying to get into a situation where it's 2nd and 3, 3rd and 3. You never want to get in a situation where it's 3rd and a bunch like it is right now. Then you have to do things that you're really not used to doing, like dropping back, trying to throw the ball way down the field. And also with a defense like Seattle, they know you got to throw, so here they come.
They need a touchdown, and even if they're able to stop Seattle, they may only have 2 or perhaps as many as 3 possessions left. Another big play, this time to Dwight Stone on 3rd and 17. They get it across midfield into Seattle territory at the 47-yard line. A 25-yard pickup and a clutch 1st down.
When you talk about making plays, this is the biggest play of the game so far today. Brister firing downfield to Dwight Stone, who's in a crowd, keeps his concentration, catches the ball among 3 or 4 Seattle defenders. You gotta come up with the play. You gotta make the play. And Dwight Stone goes out and makes a play. That's what you do. That's the way you win championships.
Patrick Hunter was there. Dwayne Harper was there. But Stone, as you said, Ahmad, kept his concentration. On 1st down, Foster gives to Stone on the reverse. They got blockers in front. He gets across the 40 and down to the 39-yard line. It winds up being about an 8-yard pickup, and that's a credit to the reaction of the Seattle defense because they were out of position when Stone first got the ball.
Certainly, those plays tend to develop real slow, but you watch Bubby Brister here. He's the lead blocker on this play. Misdirection play, here it comes back around. Look at Brister out front, number 6. He's trying to find somebody to block. Does a pretty good job, too.
Not bad at all. Helps to create the gain of 8. Make it 2nd down 2. Well, let's call it 7. 2nd down and long, short 3. Foster with the football across the 35 down to the 30-yard line. Another Steeler 1st down. The fans begin to come to life. The Steelers begin to come to life. And we go to New York for a Bob Costas update after this coming play.
Jim, you remember I said that it was an excellent opportunity for the Steelers to show what kind of team they are. they have a chance to still win this game. And good teams, when they have that chance, they make the best of it. And that's what the Steeler team has done right now. They've all of a sudden come roaring back, and now they can reset and run their own offense.
And so now, officially, Foster has that 10th 100-yard rushing game of the season. Remember, the league record is 12 by Dickerson. Foster again, and this time he's down near the 25-yard line. 4-yard gain, it'll be 2nd and 6. Now, let's go to Bob Costas in the studio.
Jim, the Bills get even on this 1-yard touchdown pass from Jim Kelly to Pete Metzelaars. For Kelly, his 22nd touchdown throw of the year, leads the league by 1 over Dan Marino. More importantly, ties the game. There are 2.5 minutes remaining right now. The Jets have the ball around midfield. Back to Pittsburgh.
All right, Bob, and the two games intertwined, as we've mentioned, because Pittsburgh and Buffalo are the front runners for home field advantage in the AFC playoffs. Head-to-head, Buffalo has a win over Pittsburgh. Foster drops the football. Loose ball at the 25-yard line, and I think a black jersey got on it.
Boy, that would have been they dodged the bullet on that one.
Reserve tight end Tim Jordan. First time he's touched the ball today, Ahmad.
And Foster beating the ground afterwards. Here takes the handoff. He finds a little spot and tries to cut that ball up, and he just loses the handle. It comes out from underneath his arm. And we got a couple of black shirts that are around there near the ball. But, boy, they dodged the bullet that time as Foster comes to the sideline.
Well, that's how he got himself into Chuck Noll's doghouse last year. Concentration loss. Fumbles which weren't necessarily forced by defenders. On 3rd down, Brisker looks down the middle and has Leroy Thompson inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. Ball comes free. And the official is going to rule that Thompson was down. Brown can't cause a fumble. That will be the heart of the ruling by the back judge. An 18-yard gain to convert 3rd and 6 into 1st and goal for the Steelers.
An excellent play by the Steelers as they take out Foster, and all of a sudden it's just sort of an underneath route.
Leroy Thompson
here, as he goes down, obviously he loses the ball just as he hits the ground, so it was a great call by the official.
Proper call by the official under the rules. Steelers trailing by 4. Clock running, 3:11 to go in the game. Need to convert the touchdown here. Foster is met by Blackman in the flat. He breaks the Blackman tackle and gets inside the 5 to about the 3-yard line.
Good football teams, when they need plays or they need scores, they're able to come up with them. And the Steelers are right now on a drive. Here, Foster trying to take it around the right side. He's got good blocking out in front of him, but Eugene Robinson comes up with a great play there. Just slices that gap and puts the tackle on Foster. Good play by Eugene Robinson.
Foster still got a couple of yards after the big hit by Eugene Robinson. Barry Foster's 10th rushing touchdown of the year gives the Steelers the lead with 2 minutes, 22 seconds left on the clock.
The feeling that the Steelers felt this drive coming all along. Just straight ahead power football like the Steelers like to play. And anytime they can keep you in that situation, they figure like they're going to win 9 times out of 10. Great explosion there by Foster, exploding into that end zone.
And it was Duval Love who's had the rough day against Cortez Kennedy, who threw the block that opened the hole. Gary Anderson nails the extra point. And the Steelers have a little bit of a safety cushion now, leading 17-14 with 2:22 to go. Big plays in the drive by Foster, who now has 29 carries for 121 yards. But the biggest play of the day was the catch by Dwight Stone.
Biggest play in this football game was that catch by Dwight Stone on a 3rd and long. 3rd and 17, he comes up with the play that keeps the drive alive. Once again, Foster, once he sees that little crack, he just explodes into the end zone.
And after trying to go to the other side several times in the drive, they came back to the left, away from Cortez Kennedy.
Seattle still not out of this game, and as they showed last Monday night, that have the ability to come back, so Pittsburgh will have to be on their toes and play extremely tough just to shut the Seattle Seahawks team down.
Well, in this particular instance, the Seahawks have 3 timeouts remaining, and Stan Gelbaugh took them down the field into position to score the tying touchdown Monday night against Denver with no timeouts remaining and considerably less time than this.
So they are capable.
Warren and Mays at the goal line. Gary Anderson will be looking for a long kick for the Steelers, and he gets it. Wind holds it up a little, but Warren has it at the 3-yard line. Slow start for Warren. Now he gets outside. Across the 20 to the 25, flags are down as Warren goes out of bounds and stops the clock at the 28-yard line. Reserve defensive back Richard Shelton was there to run Warren out of bounds, and now we'll see what the penalty call is. Bad news for the Seahawks. Holding on the return, number 52. It'll be 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
Mental errors. When you're in a situation where you got a chance to get back into a football game, you need all the positive plays you can get. Then all of a sudden you come off that sideline, fired up, trying to make something happen on the kickoff, and then you end up getting a penalty like that. It really takes a little bit out of the offense.
But I don't think anything daunts Stan Gelbaugh. He's the kind of guy who plays with fire in his eyes regardless of those penalty flags.
Regardless of anything. I think every time he plays to win.
So they start at the 16-yard line after the penalty to Rick Newbill, a reserve linebacker. They throw to Heller, the tight end, and no yardage. Gain of maybe 1 or 2, and the 2-minute warning will stop the clock. It will be 2nd down 10. Ball at the 16. Seahawks trailing by 3 when we come back.
There's only one thing they're into as much as Domino's Pizza. Now, order Domino's and get your Domino's $25 million Nintendo Instant Win Game card with a chance to win thousands of free Super NES, Game Boy systems, Super Mario Kart games, plus savings on pizza and Coke Classic. Call Domino's. You can win Nintendo stuff. Wow! And try our new Domino's Twisty Bread, free with our unlimited topping medium, just $9.99.
The more income your investments earn, the more taxes are taken out. But with Nuveen tax-free investments, the more you earn, the more you keep. Ask your financial advisor about Nuveen tax-free investments, or simply call this number.
You're married. 2 kids. 1 on the way. A house, a dog, 5 on the way, loads of other responsibilities too numerous to count. And you want this. Doesn't make sense. But here is an interesting alternative that does. The new Volvo 850 GLT.
NFL on NBC is brought to you by Starter. Look for the stars and you'll find Starter. By Canon. Canon cameras, so advanced they're simple. By Interstate Batteries, serving you with over 200,000 dealers across the U.S. and Canada. Start fresh with Interstate Batteries. And by Volvo. Volvo would like you to drive safely.
We bring you back to Pittsburgh with 2 minutes to go. The Steelers will try to protect a 3-point lead as they look to win 10 games in a season for the first time in nearly a decade. Gelbaugh, pass batted down. It'll be 3rd down, 9 yards to go for a Seattle first down. And the news from Buffalo, Ahmad, is that the Jets, on a Brian Washington interception touchdown return, have gone ahead of Buffalo with 1.5 minutes to go in the game.
And the noise you hear in this stadium is that they just put that score up on the scoreboard, so all these Steelers now realize that all they have to do is beat Seattle, and they take the inside track on home field advantage.
The driver's seat for home field advantage in the playoffs, and Ahmad pointed out before the game that the last 5 AFC teams to go to the Super Bowl had home field all the way. Gelbaugh on 3rd down 9. It's John L. Williams who has been the big down player all day long for the Seahawks. And Carnell Lake drops Williams about a half yard short of the 1st down. Seahawks almost certainly will go for it on 4th down.
No question. This is the thing. You see John L. Williams when he makes his catch. He knows that he's close to the 1st down and just tries to hurry up and get it forward to try to make that 1st down. And then it's up to the, at that point, you got to just hope the guy spots it right.
Well, let's see if I spotted it right. I think they're about a half yard short. They bring the chains on now. And indeed, it appears that they are
a half yard short.
Yep, there you go.
You spotted it right.
What a lucky man I am.
No question that they go for it.
John L. Williams, 8 catches for 98 yards in the game. Go back to his performances in years past, and the Seahawks fared much better than has been the case this year.
This is the play of the game for the Seattle Seahawks, who have stayed in this football game the entire way.
Yeah, they have much to be proud of from their performance today, win or lose. Coming off of what they did Monday night against Denver, a mark of the continued resurgence of the football team. 4th and a half a yard. Chris Warren with the ball and 1st down yardage. I believe he needed to get to the 27-yard line. There is a flag down on the play.
And it appears to be a holding call.
And it is.
Against the Seahawks. These are things that just cannot happen at this point.
Larry Kinnan, the offensive coordinator, voicing his anger as the implacable Tom Flores simply stares and chews his gum.
And I guarantee you,
we have illegal hands on the offense. We're going to measure to see if a 1st down or not.
You can't have a mental error.
And having initially given credit to Warren for 1st down yardage, I now believe I was wrong, and he's a little short, in which case the Steelers will decline the penalty and keep the football. Well, there you have it. Seahawks have 3 timeouts remaining, so they can now use those timeouts to stop the clock and see if they can preserve a chance to get the football back. 80 seconds remaining in the game. Pittsburgh's job now simply to hold on to the ball.
Tom Floyd.
We've got 1:20 to go. The Steelers will try to protect that 3-point lead when we come back.
Make it 1 round.
At prices you can afford. You'll find it all at your Christmas electronics store.
When life turns up the heat.
Hello? Yeah, hi. I'm Jeff Green.
There's Degree antiperspirant. Degree's body heat activated.
1 more minute.
To release extra protection.
Jeff? Hi.
Degree, your body heat turns it on.
If you can dream it, the Rebel can do it. Now, EOS Rebel from Canon has more power to create images, not just snapshots.
Image is everything.
EOS Rebel and Rebel S from Canon. So advanced, it's simple.
If your business gives up the quality of AT&T International Long Distance and calls Italy with someone else, here's your big savings.
3 coins in the fountain.
Leaving AT&T doesn't make a lot of sense.
Alka-Seltzer Plus Nighttime. For relief without alcohol, hit the box, not the bottle.
The 49ers. The Dolphins. 2 Super Bowl contenders in a San Francisco showdown. Next.
Bill Cowher, upon finding out that his defense had held, you see the enthusiasm that he's brought to his football team, and it's affected everybody in this entire organization.
Certainly a change in the personality of the head coach. You can't argue with Chuck Noll's success over the years. But Cowher is a whole different kind of man. So now Tom Flores begins to use his timeouts in sequence to stop the clock. It'll be second down Pittsburgh when we come back.
To me, there's nothing better than winning a Super Bowl or a NASCAR race. But to finish strong, you have to start fresh. That's why my car starts with an Interstate battery. Interstate batteries are fresh, thanks to the largest dealer network and a lightning-fast restocking system. So insist on an Interstate battery. For factory fresh power, look for this symbol or call 1-800-CRANK-IT. And start fresh with Interstate.
Coming up next on most of these NBC stations, Game 2 of our NFL doubleheader. Most of you will see the marquee matchup between two of the NFL's premier teams, Dan Marino and the Miami Dolphins in San Francisco to take on the 49ers, and Steve Young and Jerry Rice, who needs just one touchdown to pass Steve Largent and become the NFL's all-time leader in touchdown receptions. Some of you will see the Chiefs collide with the Raiders. For those of you in Pittsburgh, we'll be signing off after this game as NFL rules preclude a doubleheader today in this market. On second down, Barry Foster has a pickup of about 3. Now it will be third down, and Flores again stops the clock, this time with 1:09 to go. And we take a look at Pittsburgh's remaining schedule. If they go ahead and win this game, they will have beaten a dome team here outdoors in Three Rivers for the 4th time this year. Minnesota, if they could pull that off, would make 5. They play at the deteriorating Chicago Bears and then have Minnesota and Cleveland here. The Steelers are trying for an unbeaten record at home. And you look at the comparison for the Buffalo Bills' remaining schedule, considerably tougher on paper than the one facing the Steelers.
And the fact that the Bills got beat today by the Jets, they really have to turn their whole focus around to finish the season, as opposed to Pittsburgh. They just want to keep rolling like they've been rolling, and all of a sudden Buffalo is in a little bit of a panic.
There's a tremendous psychological difference between playing a close game with the Jets or Indianapolis and losing it, or doing what Pittsburgh appears to have done today, playing the same kind of dangerous game with the Seahawks, but coming back to win.
Without question, because Coach Cowher, he feels like there's such a small difference between winning and losing in this league. You just have to do the things that you need to do to win, and that's what Pittsburgh did here today. They needed a long drive. They went out and got it.
So now with 4th down, 1:03 still to go on the clock, and the football at the 21-yard line of the Seattle Seahawks. The Steelers must choose whether to have Gary Anderson try a field goal or whether to run another play and simply leave the Seahawks here.
With a kicker like Gary Anderson, you go ahead and try to ice him. Gary Anderson is a veteran kicker. I'm certain has been in many situations like this before, and he's the guy you got to go with.
The only thing you worry about is the blocked field goal, which could conceivably lead to a gift touchdown for Seattle.
Always a possibility. But if you're going to be a championship team, you have to play on that edge.
It will be a 39-yard attempt for the 3rd most accurate field goal kicker in the history of the league. And Anderson knocks it through the upright. So extend the Steeler lead now to 20-14. But there are still 58 seconds remaining, and Seattle will get a chance at scoring a touchdown of their own with those 58 seconds. Tom Flores, quite satisfied under the circumstances, to have held the Steelers to a long field goal in that situation.
I don't know, Jim. I don't think that Tom Flores is quite satisfied with anything on this season. I think that it's been the toughest season for him probably in his football career, either playing or coaching, because here's a guy who's been at the very top more than once, and all of a sudden he's dealing with a situation that usually happens to coaches over a number of years. Everything bad that could possibly happen to this guy happened in one single season.
The last American Football Conference coach to take his team to a victorious Super Bowl trip was Tom Flores with the Raiders in 1983. We remind you to stay tuned for Miami, San Francisco coming up next. In many of our markets, Kansas City and the Raiders also regionally distributed during that half of the doubleheader. And we remind you, those of you in Pittsburgh, we'll sign off here. NFL rules knocking out the possibility of a doubleheader today here in your market. Most Steeler fans, I'm sure, happy with the circumstance under which the Steelers seem headed toward inside track to the home field advantage. Chris Warren runs the kickoff back to the 28-yard line. And so now, Stan Gelbaugh, with no timeouts remaining, after the tackle by Warren Williams to stop Chris Warren, will start with the Seahawks from the 28-yard line. 72 yards between his team and the kind of glory they achieved 5 nights ago against Denver in the Kingdome. Receivers for the Seahawks. John L. Williams is in a slot. Gelbaugh is set. And there's no way for the Seahawks to stop the clock except by lining up and throwing it down. Gerald Williams was the man who got the sack against Gelbaugh. Biggest defensive play so far in the game for the Steelers. Seahawk receivers have to come a long way back. They lose about 10 seconds on the clock, and now they will face third down and 20 yards to go.
Gelbaugh had enough time to throw the ball. It's just that the routes that he was trying to throw to were really long routes, and the receivers hadn't come out of their breaks yet. But if you watch, Gelbaugh here, he's back, sets up, but there's no receiver coming out of the route yet, which enables him to get sacked.
6 defensive backs now in the game for the Steelers. I said third and 20, make it third and 18. The ball is at the 20-yard line. They need to get to the 38 for a first down. Of course, this is a 4-down circumstance, so they have 2 plays to do it. Gelbaugh gets away from pressure and decides to run with the football and goes out of bounds short of the first down. They'll face 4th down now with 33 seconds on the clock. Sammy Walker ran him out of bounds. Quickly, I'd like to thank our local spotters here in Pittsburgh, Tim Fogarty and Mike McGinley, statisticians George Jordan and DJ Wilson. Good job, guys. Thanks very much.
How about our producer and director?
You want to do that?
Peter Bleckner and director, and John McGinnis, our producer.
Pretty spectacular job for them, right?
That's right.
You'll get all the privileges from the producer and the director now, Ahmad.
Well, the producer and I have a long way to go. We have basketball coming up.
That's right.
On NBC.
4th down and 4 yards to go. Gelbaugh throws in the flat. John L. Williams hit from behind by Sammy Walker, and that'll do it. No flags down. The incompletion brings a halt to the Seahawks' attempted drive, and Bill Cowher and the Steelers can begin, at least tentatively, to celebrate their 10th win of the season. And it's final in Buffalo, where the Jets have beaten the Bills. So with this victory, the Steelers move into a commanding position. If they can win the rest of the way, they will occupy the home field driver's seat in the AFC playoffs.
And this season started out with everybody talking about the Houston Oilers not only winning this division, but going to the Super Bowl. And the Steelers, I don't think anybody thought much about them at all. I mean, from a 7-9 season, they just figured they'd be one of the other teams.
Bubby Brister takes the knee. The clock runs. Once again, our final score is going to be 20-14. Let's look at the Hager wrinkle-free play of the game, which is Barry Foster's touchdown run that gave the Steelers the lead after they trailed 14-10 well into the 4th quarter. That came with 2 minutes, 22 seconds on the clock. It capped off another brilliant day for Foster, his 10th 100-yard rushing game of the season. And now the players leave the field.
Well, they did what they had to do. Bill Cowher came here and said that, well, we can't let them catch us by surprise. And they got into a situation at the end of the game where they needed a long drive, and Cowher's team went out and got it.
Pretty resilient football team, Ahmad.
It was very impressive because, you know, you just have to do the things that it takes to win a football game. Everybody gets an opportunity. Just very few teams have the ability to take advantage of that opportunity and make something happen.
And the Seahawks fall to 2-11, but as we said all day, that is not a 2-11 effort. That's a football team that continues to try. So once again, our final score is Pittsburgh Steelers 20, Seattle Seahawks 14. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Terry O'Neill. The coordinating producer of NBC's football is John Ferratzis. Today's game produced by John McGinnis, directed by Peter Bleckner, associate director Dick Ellis, production associate Bill Herbstman. Join us next Saturday for a rematch of last year's AFC Championship game when the Denver Broncos take on the Buffalo Bills. Our coverage begins at 12 noon Eastern Time with NFL Live. Following the game, this year's winner of college football's most prestigious award will be announced. Live from the Downtown Athletic Club in New York City, join NBC Sports for the Heisman Trophy Award Show. Coming up next, the second half of our NFL doubleheader. Most of you will see Dan Marino and the Miami Dolphins battling Jerry Rice and the San Francisco 49ers, or Kansas City versus the Los Angeles Raiders. This is Jim Lampley with Ahmad Rashad saying so long from 3...
With 4,900 touchdowns a day around the world, it's no wonder Delta is the official air